on a Saturday night in Tiger Stadium. How is that place different than everywhere else?
Well, this will actually be the first time that I've played there. But, like SEC stadiums in this league, I mean, it's going to be loud. It's going to be a great environment. But, that's why you work. That's why you prepare. That's why you come to the University of Florida to play in games like this. So, we've got to understand that we have a challenge on our hands. We got to embrace the task that we have and continue to work the rest of this week to be prepared to play a talented team.
I'm interested in your thoughts on Joe Burrow because he has not only Joe, but that offense has taken college football by storm this year.
Yeah, I mean, they're really talented. I mean, they're doing a really good job of coaching them and getting them in the right plays. It does start with the quarterback. I mean, he can see things down the field. He can go from first progression to a second or third, and he's a guy that'll sit in the pocket and hang in there and keep his eyes down the field and make a late throw. Doesn't mind taking a hit to make that throw completion. And then, he's thrown it to some talented guys that can go up and make plays, whether it's by design or even just a 50-50 ball. So, we understand we got to play well and execute and continue our preparation to be ready for the challenge on Saturday.
Coach, I know we got you late. Hopefully one day in the future we can spend a little bit more time, but I appreciate you giving us a minute or two right after practice, and all the best Saturday night in Baton Rouge.
I appreciate it. No problem. Go Gators.
You got it. Todd Grantham joining us right after practice. And it's interesting, Coach has been in the SEC at Georgia and at Mississippi State, but this is his first trip to Tiger Stadium, and he picked quite a venue for the biggest game in the country. We're heading to a break. Pat Dooley will join us in a few minutes. More of your phone calls as we begin to wind things down on a Wednesday. Well, it's Tuesday, but tomorrow's Wednesday, and Bob Stoops will join us.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-687-5192.
ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. I'm Davis Allen with your UWF Argos update. Rich the Kid wasn't the only one lighting up the crowd during UWF's homecoming as the Argos football team dominated Delta State 48-3 on Saturday night, moving the Argos record on the season to 4-1 with a perfect 3-0 in Gulf South Conference play. Austin Reed completed 15 passes out of 24 attempts, throwing for 262 yards and 4 touchdown passes on the game. Shamari Mason added 2 more touchdowns and 101 yards on the ground, while Dimitri Birch led the receivers with 2 touchdown catches. Defensively, the Argos racked up 4 sacks on the quarterback, while David Richardson had an interception. Next up for the Argos, they will relax this week as they enjoy their bye week before they get ready to hit the road for West Georgia on October 19th. West Georgia takes on North Greenville this Saturday. I'm Davis Allen with your UWF Argos update for ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
You're listening to Pensacola's local and ESPN sports station. Your favorite ESPN radio shows, plus high school and UWF Argo football. ESPN Pensacola 1330.
Building-related illnesses. We get a lot of calls related to this. People that are sick from a building. Hi, this is Todd from Gulf Coast Air Care. Millions of people suffer from building-related illnesses. Symptoms include coughing, sneezing, headaches, watery, itchy eyes, and a host of breathing problems. At Gulf Coast Air Care, we have the solution. We can inspect, clean, and treat your AC system so you'll feel great. If you have dust issues or health problems that you feel are related to your home or office building, you should give us a call. We'll share the tips and secrets you need to know for a comfortable, healthy indoor climate. Gulf Coast Air Care, 934-2768. That's 934-2768. Our service will extend the life of your air conditioner, and your system will be much more energy efficient too. Let us help you by cleaning the most neglected system in your home or workplace. Find us on the web at gulfcoastaircare.com or call us at 934-2768. Hit it, Sarah.
Serious cleaning, Gulf Coast Air Care.
Take care, Grandma.
Okay, baby. Don't forget to let me know the second you get there.
Yes, ma'am.
My grandson always tells me I worry about him too much. And of course I do. I'm his grandma. Well, I was worried sick when he came home from Afghanistan. He came back wounded. It wasn't a wound you could see. It was a wound inside, post-traumatic stress disorder. My T couldn't sleep. He was angry all the time. He felt like he didn't fit in anywhere. Then I heard about this group, Wounded Warrior Project, people helping warriors like T. So I figured who better to help my grandson than people who could understand what he'd been through. Now, I don't know what they do there, but my T is smiling again. So I figured they must be good people.
1 out of every 5 warriors return from the battlefield with post-traumatic stress disorder. Help support them at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Hello, sports fans. Miles Bentley here, General Manager at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Pensacola. Growing up, I always loved sports. Nothing but net, out of the park, through the uprights. Sink the puck Bentley, that was me. But my love of the game couldn't beat my love for Pensacola and helping folks get on the road of dreams in a new Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Sure, I never went to the big leagues in sport, but we're all pro here at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Proud to be in Pensacola.
Football season has arrived, and ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM 99.1 FM is where the action is. Bringing your high school football every Friday night, UWF football on Saturdays, and the NFL on Sundays. If you would like to partner with ESPN Pensacola as a sponsor or promotional partner, give us a call at 262-6000.
ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM 99.1 FM WEBY Milton, Pensacola.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Busy day on the Sports Drive on a Tuesday, starting to preview a massive weekend for college football and taking a stroll down memory lane with jerseys of players we wanted and Madden covers.
Just become the NFL's all-time leading rusher. Across the middle, it is caught for the first. It's Baldwin shaking free and sprinting down the sideline for the touchdown. His third of the day. Doug Baldwin.
Derek Brooks, who ran back 3 interceptions for touchdowns in the regular season, does it to cement the Super Bowl. Boxing's elite, the new WBA heavyweight champion of the world, Roy Jones Jr. Both been beaten. The result has come up on screens that Gatlin's taken it. Goodness me, it was a blue American vest. 992 the Gatlin. 992 by the American champion to take gold.
Another Watson is wearing a green jacket at Augusta. And this time, his name is Bubba. Scores on a 34-yard touchdown run by the Doak Walker Award winner, Trent Richardson, who broke a lot of Emmett Smith's records back in Pensacola, Florida.
And welcome into the Sports Drive right here on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. I am Chad Brilliante. Glad to be with you as always as we have some fun with you on this Tuesday evening. Got some Major League Baseball to get to. We'll talk a little as the Yanks move on. My favorite. But you know what? You got a guy in Didi Gregorius, a former Wahoo, hitting the ball, so something to root for. You know, in like a bad situation, you go home, the California brush fires or a hurricane, and you go in the backyard and there's always that sarcastic person, but your house might have been taken out, and you're like, well, at least they didn't get the dog shed. You're like, Jerry, we're moving. We have no home. But in this situation with somebody like, Didi Gregorius, I'm going to just root for him in this and hope they lose like 19-1 with one solo home run from Didi Gregorius. But the Minnesota Twins gave it their all, had a great season, and the Yanks will be the first ones to move on. We'll see if the Rays will be able to keep it and go back 2-2. Charlie Morton yesterday, the ace for the Houston Astros when they won the World Series, was the guy that closed it out. Remember in Game 7 in L.A., was able to get it done against his former teammate when Zach Greinke, and here's a fascinating stat, Zach Greinke is getting paid $30 million this season. $30 million. Do you guys want to take a stab, take an OJ at what do you think the entire Tampa Bay Rays made as an entire roster this
Annual
season
salary?
for their starters?
I think it was 77.
No,
the starters.
They're starters that played against him.
Okay.
Yes. The 9 guys that hit.
$15 million.
21.
I was going to say 27.
So the entire 9 guys that took him for 3 innings, 6 runs, and wiped him out of the board, the entire team makes $9 million less than Zach Greinke. So there you go. And pitchers only have to pitch every 5 days. You go back in a time machine, son, what's the best job? Well, I can sit there and eat sunflower seeds. Don't have to do much for most of the days. If I do go out there and get rocked, if I'm good enough where I've proved to everybody that I had that one good season, they're going to pay me like $30 million. And then if I get signed by the Yankees, if I get the heck out of a Tampa or a Florida, then all of a sudden I'm making a lot of cash. And yeah, that's what happens. Then you have a CC Sabathia, Captain Crunch, 6 ERA and make like 30 a year. So yeah, good for baseball players and the fifth day. Looking at the other things going on, we're going to get to more on college football. College football and college game day heading out to the Baton Rouge. Chance of rain, never. As they get set to go for a big game against Florida. 13.5-point spread. We'll get to a little more on this game. That's a little bit high, but with the right dose from that defensive line against an offensive line for Florida, it could lead to a disaster. We'll talk some more on that. We'll also get to more of the big games coming up here, like Florida State and Clemson. It looks like Willie Taggart has saved what could have been a media fire over something really in relevance that Florida State will lose by a lot either way. They're taking the right steps, but Clemson is a different breed, and they're angry while the rest of the country says, you must lost to North Carolina. Now they go back home, and they'll probably take it out on Florida State. We'll talk about that game, but Horny Brook and it looks like James Blackman will both play, according to Willie Taggart, in this one. And whichever one suffers the most, which will be Blackman to start, they'll bring in the next one. And then we'll also get to more on Texas A&M and Alabama. Huge game here locally. Joining me, as always, fun to talk to the crew, Eric Vadrine and Joe Ford. And Eric sliding on over in the spot today. So, Joe, just a nice day of tossing the pigskin around and having some fun. That's the fun seat over there.
Annoying blab with the occasional toss into the camera shot.
You don't have to worry about that as much as we got about keyboard cat back there. Caitlin doing a great job at Blab TV, pushing the buttons as well. But it is nice because anybody listening on radio might sit back and look at a radio station of people kick back, arms crossed, eating some food and hanging out. Eric, you will be punching a bunch of things, every commercial coming back, every spot. Caitlin's back there punching every graphic on TV, all the sponsors. And I will be punching I actually punch the cameras, and we'll be on air and talking, and you get to toss the pigskin today.
That's right.
So there you go.
Your
watch might beep. That's one of the new watches, right? Is that the Big Ben $5,000 fine watch?
It might be. It might be
a different band. I think his was
different.
black.
His was a black watch band, but I've got the white band on. But
what a load of garbage that was, too. Look, I'm not going to defend Ben on pretty much anything, but what a load of crap. I mean, $5,000 for wearing what was a watch pretty much on a long sleeve shirt. I got the long sleeve. Marty Stanovich used to call it picnic table shirt going on today.
Right.
And if I had a watch on underneath this and it wasn't the brand, like when I brought a Coke Zero on accident out to Blue Wahoo Stadium, and they've got a deal with Buffalo Rock, I get that. Jonathan came running over, whoa, because we were doing our show, and I was like, oh, got it. You got probably Pepsi sponsors walking around there hey, how did you get that inside our stadium? But at the same time for this, no. If you have that watch on, come on, dude. Could have passed.
I mean, I understand why the Apple Watch is not allowed on the sideline, but, I mean, when's the last time that Ben was, put on IR and he was just standing there on the sideline? I mean, I was just say, hey, Ben, you can't you can't watch or you can't wear your Apple Watch, so just don't wear it next time. Oh, okay, cool, no problem, NFL, but it's like $5,000.
Come on. And seriously, it's just another reason. Not as bad as all the James Harrison fines and that nonsense. But let's talk a little bit about last night's game. We'll get to more. Nick Bosa, the real deal. Your Buckeyes keep coming up in the news. But, he pretty much at this point has owned Baker Mayfield and the times they played against each other. Baker Mayfield, coach is old school. Coach K, you guys, we've all worked with him. And, he knows football. He was an NFL coach. You don't get in that seat if you don't. But, he was saying with Baker, he needs to grow up. And, I think as a coach, coming from him, those are the kind of people telling him to grow up. Baker Mayfield's an emotional kind of guy. I get it. I'm an emotional kind of guy. But at the same time, he's letting the inner demons get to him. And if it continues to get to him, then it could be a short-lived career. Because here's the difference. Baker Mayfield, when things are going well, he's like that, ba-da-ba-ba-ba, I'm loving it. And I'm not using a sponsor. You just think of what that is on your own. But you know that he's loving life. He's going out there wheeling and dealing and having a blast. The difference is, when it's going bad, the flames and the wrath and fire and brimstone are upon him. And that's what you're seeing. Because there is no business that mano-a-mano, that Cleveland team, with Odell Beckham and Jarvis Landry, with guys like Nick Chubb, and all the folks on that roster.
Soon to be Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, I mean, Demarius Randall from Pensacola. So many guys on that roster. And you're getting beat 31-3. Like, save that room for the Jets, the Dolphins, the Bengals, the Redskins, the teams that are trying to tank for Tua. And when we say tank, it's not the players. It's the staff with the players they're putting in position. Like, I can't be the only one that says, Is this some type of joke? Because I feel like my Nana, who has a bad leg right now, and I think she has some type of rare foot disease, if I put her on the field, she would do better than Luke Falk as the quarterback for the New York Jets. Like, I can't be the only one looking at that game and watching and sort of laughing as a Pats fan about it, as Joe is a Jets fan.
Oh, I was laughing too and crying and just...
I had the Eagles defense in fantasy, so I was smiling. Y'all were laughing. I was smiling.
But there's got to be a moment where somebody realizes that even the bearded ones like Kyle Orton, the 8 billion people sitting there at home right now, like they called the one guy in Josh Johnson who hadn't played in the league in 6 years for the Redskins last year, there's got to be somebody better than what Luke Falk is out there in the field, which is like 7 for 22 with 2 picks. But the difference is, it's Jets saying, well, are the quarterbacks kissing people when he shouldn't? He's got mono. We might be moving in a different direction. I don't like this. And, if he looks really bad, we're just going to go ahead. Like, that's where it is the organization and management that is tanking. So when we say tank for Tua, the players, I'm not calling out the heart or the pride. It's the organizations that are putting crap in the position to fail. And that's what's happening. But there is no reason why Baker Mayfield should ever look that bad against an opponent, even if it was the Patriots, even if it was the Chiefs or the Saints. That was a hideous performance yesterday, and I'm telling you guys, we're not talking playoffs, Jim Mora. We're talking about trying to have this quarterback survive mentally throughout this season, because that was just as bad as it gets.
It feels like to me, at least in the early going, that they are trying to fit Baker Mayfield into a puzzle for which he is not a piece of. What I mean by that is, Baker Mayfield plays quarterback unconventionally. He is not a type of quarterback, at least not right now, to where he is going to stand in the pocket. He's got a little bit of speed, but nobody would say that it's at the level of like a Wilson or a Lamar Jackson or anything like that.
I think it ran a 5.40.
Yeah, so he can move around, but the problem is that Baker Mayfield wants to move around like almost as soon as he gets the football.
Yeah.
He's very jittery. He is very nervous when he's standing back in the pocket because it just go against his instincts, his natural instincts. And when you have the supporting cast, that when you trade for Odell, when you trade or not trade, but you have Jarvis. Well, they did trade for Jarvis Landry, but when you have those two receivers and you have a David Njoku, you're giving this quarterback a supporting cast that it's just a puzzle that doesn't fit together right now, because fundamentally Baker Mayfield does not want to play quarterback the way that Freddie Kitchens wants him to play quarterback. And, that was obvious last night because the 49ers defense was forcing him to stay in the pocket. And, we hear Joey Bosa afterwards say that, Baker Mayfield didn't just look uncomfortable. He looked panicked back there. And that is not what you want to hear, but it's what's showing up over and over again. Yeah, he's got the talent to, beat teams, but in terms of just the expectations that were put on this football team, I just don't know, and I just don't see how they can live up to them this year.
And you're right, and you can weigh in. Baker Mayfield fans of the game, Cleveland Browns fans, you've been quiet for a very long time. So for Cleveland fans, this is nothing new. Cleveland fans are saying, this probably was expected from us based on where Cleveland, and when things look like they're about to go good, all of a sudden Art Modell moves the team, or things are about to go this way, and, they're used to this. So if any team knows that things were expected to be good and they didn't work out, the Browns fans are the ones. Now, I look at, they should, but I'm saying, Eric, when you look at this team, I got to say, Baker Mayfield has a path right now where they're 2-3, right?
Yeah, they're 2-3.
Okay, so they're not done.
No.
But at this point,
they do got Seattle coming up.
They have Seattle and then New England back to back.
There are a lot of teams in the NFL that have shown no sign of getting better, and they're just a joke to watch each and every week for their fan base. They come out for the wings and beer if you're the fans. They went on the road and beat Baltimore. They went out there and they beat a team by 20-something points in New York, but they won a game by a lot. This game was a bad game, but if Baker Mayfield's going to say, this is what I am, and going forward, the way he looked, and it wasn't getting any better, and Odell almost looking scared to throw a bad pass to Odell and the relationship they have, that Sanford team is good too. But that game last night was embarrassing, and I got to say this, and Gene Stallings joins us tomorrow on the show, and Freddie Kitchens, one of his favorite, played quarterback for him, a guy he respects the heck out of. But Freddie Kitchens, I'm going to say this.
He's a little
I like
in
the
over
guy.
his skis right now.
He's not cut out for the job that he has. And, he looks sort of like the guy that you would, throw out a couple lines to catch some bass out there in the Blackwater River. He looks like one of the guys from the, just hanging out. He's played at Tuscaloosa in Alabama, looks like a country boy. Him and Boo Weekley would go shooting on the weekend after they're done with their games. But the difference is he is not cut out to be an NFL coach. I think it's pretty much, when you have to tell the media, well, what did you do on 4th and 9? Why'd you run a draw play? It's just a bad call. Bad call. And then 2 weeks later, you're getting embarrassed, 31-3, and outcoached in every single dynamic of the game. This can't continue to go on with the athletes that they have, because they actually do, not defensively. I think they have some struggles defensively, but offensively.
Offensive line.
And that's the thing. If you would have lost the game 35-42-20, you could say what you want. But at least the offense showed no sign of anything yesterday, which is even a bigger concern because Freddie was in charge of that, and the only reason he's the head coach is Baker wanted him as that guy. So as Baker and Freddie and Baker go, it could tank together. And that's what you're seeing as the hostile relationship right now with 19 kids running around the house, no home, no job, and that's what they're living today. Last week, they're living in a penthouse, drop top in it, riding down Malibu when they beat Baltimore. The emotion is just riding way too high, way too low, and they got to get back on track because it could be a long season if you do that in the NFL because you have to forget about the week after that, and I don't know if they can.
Yeah, like the three things that I'm going to take away with the whole Baker Mayfield issue is, one, first and foremost, dream teams hardly ever work out, and not talking about like Olympics, obviously. So like, look at the narrative before the season with the Golden State Warriors when they got DeMarcus Cousins. Oh, how the rich have gotten richer. And they didn't win a championship. Now, I get a lot of it was injuries, don't get me wrong, but it just goes to show you that whenever you have that type of stigma, it's very, very rare that it actually works out. Remember the Eagles when they got all of those players? What was it, like 2011? And they got like Vince Young as the backup quarterback, and they were just getting so much talent, and everyone thought they were going to be the real deal. And I don't even think they made it to the playoffs. Then the other aspect of the whole Baker Mayfield thing is, that grit and that edge that a lot of people love and respect him for, always having that underdog mentality, because he was a walk-on, and then he was essentially booted out to Oklahoma because Mahomes took his spot, and then he becomes the #1 overall pick. So whenever you have that swagger about you and things are going well, everybody loves you. But once you start losing, everybody wants to rip you apart just because you have basically rubbed it in so many people's faces for so long.
Easy target.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then the other aspect of it, too, is I just don't think Freddie Kitchens is the guy for the job. I didn't think he was the guy for the job in the first place. So not only do you not have the dream teams that don't work out, and then Baker Mayfield is just getting ripped apart because that's just his personality, but Freddie Kitchens has never been a head coach before, and unfortunately, he's learning how to be a head coach on a roster that's just flat out too talented for you to get that experience. Now, if you want to go get that experience over there in Washington or New York or something like that, that might be the place for you. But when you have guys that are ready to win now, that's not the job for you, my friend. So those are the three big things whenever I look at what's going on with Cleveland that I see the issue with. Because when you have the media hyping people up, everybody, like, they're human. They want to beat the tar out of you because they are sick and tired of hearing Cleveland this, Baker this, Odell this, Jarvis this. They get tired of it. And they're out there their job is to prove people wrong. Their job is to perform, to collect that paycheck. And that's what's happening. People are waking up. Look at what Tennessee did week 1. You don't think they were licking their chops for that matchup? And then look at what Tennessee's done after that. It isn't so much Cleveland as much as it is these other teams are ready to bring it to them.
And Baker's not helping it.
And
he's not helping it.
And Bosa's comments only clarify that because he said, I've been waiting to do this. Whenever he did the little fake stab at the field, he was like, he had it coming to him. So he knew when he went up against Baker Mayfield, he had that in his mind. I was ready for it. So that just shows you the mentality of the league, that they're ready to take on the Browns.
Even the Rex Ryan thing, even though I thought it was funny, he should have just been like,
he doesn't look wrong.
Yeah, he could have just, he pretty much could have just sat there and, just smirked over and laughed.
Say what you will about Rex Ryan and the foot fetish and everything like that, but those guys' defenses were a big problem for teams.
Yes. He took one foot fetish step forward now after what he saw from Baker last night. When we come back, we're going to get to more, and don't look that up. We're coming back for more right here. We're going to get to some fun here. You can weigh in the Baker Mayfield story, 623-1330. We'll be giving you a chance to win a pair. Got a pair for you for the Pensacola Interstate Fair coming up next week. Hey-o, we'll be out there having some fun. And also, we're going to have some fun today. We'll open up the phone lines to you, 623-1330, 850-623-1330. What jersey, if you could wear a jersey of a team that isn't the team you root for, but you love the player, maybe hometown proud, what jersey would you not feel bad about walking around in public if it wasn't the team that you root for? We're coming back for more right here in the Sports Drive, and I will never be seen in a Yankee jersey.
Bowling is a sport that will last you a lifetime, and at Cordova Lanes on Airport Boulevard, every night there is something exciting happening. Like on Tuesday and Thursday, it's penny a pin. Bowl 100, pay $1. Or how about starting your weekend off right by reserving a lane for just $25 at Moonlight Bowling. Enjoy a fresh-made pizza and the lowest pitcher prices in Pensacola. So what are you waiting for? It's time to roll your way into Cordova Lanes and experience fun like never before.
I'm really hungry, but I don't want to spend a fortune.
Well, you're in luck. Now you can get Denny's Super Slam with 2 eggs, 2 bacon strips, 2 sausage links, hash browns, and 2 pancakes, all for just $5.99.
That is a great deal. So I get all of that for just $5.99?
You sure do.
Wow, this meal just keeps getting better and better.
Some might say super.
I see what you did there.
The $5.99 Super Slam is back. See you at Denny's.
Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. No substitutions.
When you became a truck driver, didn't you expect more freedom? No boss over your shoulder, the open road? It all sounded so promising. Instead, you still have someone telling you what to do and where to go. Where's that freedom? You can do better. Become an owner-operator and lease your business on with Schneider. With Schneider's Choice Lease, you pick your own loads and manage your business. Plus, take advantage of our limited-time lease-on bonus. Owner-operators who lease with Schneider get it. Visit SchneiderOwneroperators.com. That's SchneiderOwneroperators.com.
Paul Feinbaum here for the Southeast leader for cranes and equipment rental, Craneworks. The Craneworks team in Nashville, Birmingham, and Mobile is ready to make your next construction or maintenance project a big success. Give Craneworks a call for your next lift, machinery moving, or rigging project. And don't forget, RentalWorks has a full line of rental equipment for jobs both big and small, and now offering qualified operators for all equipment, including aerial and earth-moving equipment. Call Craneworks at 877-282-LIFT or visit them on the web at craneworks.com.
Hey, Dave, what's with the dry erase board?
We've got so much to do before we open for the day, so I'm diagramming our game plan.
You just wrote help me and X's and arrows.
I know. We need help.
Here's a plan. Call Cintas. They'll check our fire extinguishers, stock our first aid cabinets, they'll take care of our floor mats and restroom supplies, and of course, deliver great-looking uniforms.
Call Cintas. Great plan. Oh, I'm ready!
Get Cintas and get ready for the workday.
I'm Mina Kimes, host of the new podcast, ESPN Daily. Each morning, we'll bring you a deep dive into a single story from one of ESPN's hundreds of reporters. ESPN Daily is brought to you by Indeed, helping over 3 million businesses worldwide find their newest star players. Post job openings with skills tests. Then sort, review, and communicate with candidates from an online dashboard. Sprint to Indeed.com/ESPN Daily and find a winner. Terms and conditions apply.
Golic and Wingo.
A different host from ESPN Radio from around the country is going to make their pick in our Survivor pool.
This is Davis Allen from ESPN Pensacola, and my pick for the Golic and Wingo Survivor pool is Kansas City over the Jacksonville Jaguars.
That might be the toughest game on the board week one, and Pensacola is swinging with Hall of Famer Patrick Mahomes.
5 to 9 every weekday morning. ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
You're listening to Pensacola's local and ESPN sports station. Your favorite ESPN radio shows, plus high school and UWF Argo football. ESPN Pensacola 1330.
Nobody needs to see my dance moves unless I'm dancing with my daughter to a Moana song that nobody cares about in our house with my wife. So, welcome back to the Sports Drive. Chad Brillante with you here, having some fun with you. 850-623-1330 is the number. We're going to have some fun here in this segment as we're going to talk about the best stories of what jerseys would you wear if it wasn't your team, and what player would that be? Phone line is up, 623-1330. Who do we got? Welcome to the show. Who is this?
It looks like they hung up.
Well,
oh, all right.
Okay.
Oh,
well,
they're calling back.
there you
Here we
go.
go.
Just a double tap, remember. Open the phone, double tap. It's like a wrestling move. It looks like, welcome to the show. Who's on the air?
Hey, it's Bill.
Hey, Bill, what's happening, my friend?
How are you doing?
Doing good. We're just having some fun with this segment. I clearly will never say a Yankee or a New York Jet or a Giant player on this show, but it's fun because there's always that guy you root for or respect on a team, even if you're not a fan. I think a lot of Seminole fans respected Tebow. I think a lot of as a Red Sox, Bill, I respected the heck out of Derek Jeter. There are some guys that you just root for as people, and Baker Mayfield was one of those for a lot of people. But each and every day, it's harder and harder. What's that player, Bill? I know you're a Cubs fan, and some of those teams out there. You just got a silent sort of hey there from Joe. What guy would that be for you?
For me, I grew up in I was a young kid in the '70s, very impressionable. Of course, the Bears were my team. But when the Bears weren't on, I always watched the Steelers. Lynn Swann, Stallworth, Bradshaw, Mean Joe Green. I love them. Even the Jets with Joe Klecko and Mark Gastineau. I used to love the Jets defense. But I'd wear a Steelers jersey before any other. If it wasn't a Chicago jersey, it'd be the Steelers.
Yeah, that's that'd be a lot of Steeler jerseys in your closet. They would think you're like the biggest fan at that point, right there. But Mean Joe Green, the what was it, the Coke commercial with the kid with the jersey, that Family Guy made a fun reference for. But I'll tell you, that was one definitely that I would say would be a good one. Mean Joe Green seemed like the kind of guy everybody wanted to be, that nasty defensive player. I would say, looking at a Cubs, would you be caught dead in a Cardinals jersey?
Never.
No, not one player.
Never.
What
Never.
jersey?
There was not one player. Okay, so the closest thing I could come to a Chicago rival that I would possibly wear, but it would still hurt me very badly, would be the Detroit Red Wings.
Okay, that would be fair. Well, what if it was a Lee Smith which Smith is a very common name, and you probably we'd have to convince people. No, not a Lee Smith Cardinal, even though the years. Okay.
Right. Even Bruce Sutter, when Bruce Sutter went to the Cardinals, I rooted against him with all my might. Lee Smith went to the Cardinals, rooted against him with all my might. Jim McMahon went to the Packers, rooted against him with everything I have.
Bill, do you think fandom, or do you think just a cheap son of a you-know-what? If a guy has a jersey of like a Greg Maddux with the Cubs and he's a Braves fan, you know what I'm saying? Like if a guy's like, oh no, it's a Maddux jersey, be like, yeah, that's the Cubs '87. Like, do you see if you have a guy on a team that you have the jersey for, but you weren't even going to purchase the new jersey, like an Addison Russell Oakland A's jersey, is that being a cheap guy or is that being a fan?
Oh, I'd have to say that's a tough one.
Joe, you want to weigh in on this one?
Well, it's a throwback. It's a vintage. So I mean, it's okay.
You think that's okay? Okay, yeah, I didn't get that.
Being cheap.
Yeah, I think
so. You know what he's trying to be? He's trying to act like he's above everybody else. Look, I knew him and I supported him back when, and it's all just a lie.
Like a Jacob Coker Florida State jersey wearing in Tuscaloosa during the title game. Do you think that would be – you see what I'm saying? There you go. I think you get some confused looks right there. No, it's Coker. He didn't get any money for his brand, obviously, but it's Coker back there. Bill, right now you got the playoffs going on in baseball. I know you're a baseball fan. For the folks that don't know, this is Bill Fecky, right? This is Bill, correct? I think we've had this long conversation. I should hope I would make sure of that. Someone's like, no, this is Bill. I just moved down here. Who are you? But Bill, guy ran for county commissioner, District 2, and good friend, and a guy that's always been a loyal fan of the show here, and I appreciate everything in our friendship, Bill. Talk about the moment right there where you look at what team this year has grabbed the bull by the horns and is going to be the champion in the World Series.
As much as I hate it, the Yankees just look like they got it this year.
Mm-hmm.
Coming out of the National League, though, I think we're going to see Atlanta again. Atlanta reminds me of the Cubs back in '16. Young, hungry. They got multiple, talented, very talented. But yeah, I mean, I can't see anyone beating the Yankees at this point, and it kills me. I hate it.
Yeah, I do too. We'll end on that positive note. Bill, appreciate the call. That's couldn't have ended in a better way of hatred. And have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Sounds great. Take care, guys.
Appreciate it. He was a pretty sweet wrestler back in the day too. Lance Jade, he used to Google that. Lance Jade, he was like an ultimate wrestler guy. I always joked with his campaign. He should like jump off the top rope and like choke slam one of the other opponents. That would probably lead to a lawsuit. Let's go 850-623-1330. You can call in. What team would you wear, or what jersey of a player that is not a team you root for? So think about the core teams. If you're a Bama fan out there, is there a player on Auburn? Somebody just sort of threw up a little in their mouth by that comment. But would there be like a Bo Jackson? You always hear SEC fans like, man, well, Bo was just incredible. Man, Herschel Walker, he's 50, he can still play today. Like, would you be caught dead walking in Tuscaloosa, like into Bryant-Denny, on like a game where Alabama is playing against West Carolina or something like that, in a guy like Herschel Walker's jersey? That's
I mean, I wouldn't wear it in Tuscaloosa. I wouldn't wear it in Bryant-Denny Stadium.
It's not the appropriate setting.
That's not But I mean, just in general. I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, I've always, I have my Houston or my Montreal Expos hat. I have a Seattle Sonics NBA Jam shirt. So I'm a big fan of nostalgia, right? So, the first athlete that I can ever remember really liking, and the first athlete that I can ever remember asking my parents for this player's jersey when I was probably 4 or 5 years old was Dan Marino. And I never got Dan Marino's jersey, but he was the first player that I always remember wanting his jersey, and I never got it. So Dan Marino, I mean, I have no affinity for the Dolphins or anything, but for nostalgia's sake, and just because I think he is the greatest passer in the history of the NFL, I would pick Dan Marino as one that I would really like.
Would not. But no, that's, I mean, the kindness. I got to see him shooting a Marooney commercial, I think, for the car dealership, like an Auto Nation thing down in South. And so I was driving by US 1 and waved. And he did not wave back. I think he thought I flicked him off.
So
But
rude.
I'm just saying, I was actually waving. I didn't give him the one finger. How about
your speech, Ed?
maybe like a Jason Pierre-Paul turkey gobbler shirt or something like that from his hand? I don't know. I would probably go with if there was one player that I could root for and he's not part of the team or a team I despise. I've always said Jacksonville back in the day, I was a huge fan just because of the way he rolled up the sleeves, and I think his son's playing now, but Tony Baselli. Don't get me wrong, I love Tony Baselli because he was that nastiness that you always wanted out of a football. Like when you think football, the first thing you think is, not kicker. You don't think Bill Gramatica tearing his ACL celebrating a kick. You think, the tough, nasty gridiron, the Mike Websters back in the day, and, the guys that Will Smith was saying, tell the truth, who end up getting concussions because
blood
so
on
nasty.
the elbow pads.
I would go, Tony Baselli was that guy. He was a fierce, nasty player with the rolled up sleeves. And it was pretty fun for that. So I would go with Baselli, and that would be. Jimmy Smith was pretty cool on that team as well.
For me, I always like the guys that bring like an extra element to the game because like when you buy a ticket, you always get 4 quarters of football. But when you have a player that gives you an extra entertainment value, in a way, you kind of got a bargain, right? So for me, it was always Chad Ochocinco, and I don't want a Johnson jersey. No, it has to say Ochocinco.
Yeah.
To me. Seeing all of his celebrations, hearing him say "Child, please kiss the baby." Oh my gosh!
Come on,
So
all the days
that
you're
was
spending at the
awesome.
all the days at the gym, though, aren't you going with the jersey with the rolled up so you can get the guns showing off there? When you're there like this on the side, right there, having. No, I'm saying I like the. Are you a guy like the football jerseys when you wear it? By the way, because my mom got me a jersey when I was younger. And I was in pretty good shape. I was still playing college ball and stuff like that for 3 days, folks. Let me clarify that. But when I was playing, I remember she got me like a Kids Factory type small shirt. And I was like, it cut off where like you see the guys and one of your favorite movies wearing it like they're playing in the playing days. And I'm like, Mom, I'm not wearing this. You never wear the jersey I got you. And I'm like, yeah, because I can't breathe. It's cutting off my circulation.
Like a belly shirt.
Yeah, it was like a belly shirt. Like Ezekiel Elliott would wear it. The only six-pack going over here is a one of Rolling Rock last night. So there was no point of that and no purpose. And so I got a more smooth, comfortable. Like I went to the store after my mom bought me that jersey and bought another larger jersey. And I remember sitting there, I was like, I'm not going to wear a Kids Factory shirt, but I like to breathe in the jersey these days. I actually go into the game, like when I go to World of Beer to do the show, I want a jersey to be an extra size bigger because I know I'm pounding 20 wings with ranch.
You got to
be
comfortable.
Exactly. It's going to add to the girth of that. That's all I'm saying.
What was the first jersey that you remember having?
Ooh, easy. So for me, it was Michael Vick, Atlanta Falcons rookie year.
That was your dog.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, no pun intended. So
there was 100%.
When I say that,
I was trying to help him out
to
try not to get like any PETA violations.
Oh please.
But no,
PETA would
for
have
me,
me hung in front of the house if they.
For me, it was Michael Vick, and because I played quarterback and I loved Eric Crouch.
Yeah.
So he was number 7, and then Mike Vick was number 7.
All right, we'll continue. 850-623-1330 is the number. We're going to punch you right up onto the board. Caller, who's this?
Andrew.
Andrew, what's happening today? What jersey would you wear if it wasn't your team?
Probably a Jalen Hurts.
Ooh, there you go. Like a Jalen Hurts Oklahoma jersey, you saying?
Well, so I'm an Alabama fan.
Okay.
But no matter where Jalen goes, left Alabama, he left in a good way. So I'd wear a Jalen jersey for it.
Would you wear a Jalen Hurts jersey if he was on Auburn? See, the problem is
the Alabama version.
Unless you go to the store, like one of your places where your mom gets quilts and things like that, that do embroidery, you're not going to get the name on the back of the jersey anywhere because they don't pay kids for their likeness. So you would really be walking around with an Auburn jersey that people would have to then think and look up on their phones to realize that's Jalen Hurts in the likeness. So you'd probably just get booed in your own hometown. So I would have to pass on that. But no, Oklahoma, that's a good pick. Look, Jalen's a good guy. I'm rooting for Jalen. His story in a world today, Andrew, where everybody else seems to want to go and play immediately and they don't want to battle and win jobs or accountability for their own mistakes, Jalen Hurts sat out humbly after being the SEC, which most would say have the best offensive players in the country, and he was the offensive player of the year as a freshman and then gets benched. But for Tua, it was like the people arguing when Tebow should still be playing when they were bringing in Peyton Manning. I'm sorry, your love, or if you have Tebow pictures on the wall you kiss, that's a big fat no. If you can get Peyton Manning, the other person gets benched if they're not named Tom Brady or Drew Brees probably, and still people would argue that. For this case, yeah, Jalen Hurts humbly sat back. He had his big moment in the sun when he got the opportunity, and he made the best of it, and then he waited the entire season, and now he's doing great with Oklahoma. He does a lot for charity. I think Jalen Hurts is a great pick.
And I also have one baseball-wise, too.
Okay, let's hear it.
Mike Trout. I'm not an Angels fan, but I just feel like Mike Trout as a person, a big guy, he's a great ball player. I feel like I'd wear that. I don't wear it, basically, except for but
I think that's a good one. And while we're talking players named with fish names, there was a guy named Brandon Bass. You probably remember Brandon Bass.
He went to Capitol High School in Baton Rouge.
Now, Brandon Bass played for the Orlando Magic, and there was a girl that may or may not have fit the profile of the jersey when I make this joke, but this was the jersey, and she said, "One fine piece of bass." And she had that jersey, and it was a Brandon Bass jersey, and she wore it, and everybody loved that jersey when she was at the games.
Wow. Pretty clever jersey.
There you go. I would probably wear that jersey. It looked better on her. But, hey, Andrew, appreciate the call. And, good luck. I think this week against Texas A&M, I don't think it should be a problem. I think Alabama will take care of them. And Nick Saban gets up. Jimbo Fisher does know Nick Saban teams. They coach together. But the quality of their offense right now is not at the level to be able to compete in a shootout, which you're going to have to do against this Alabama team.
Yep. But you always got to think like, hey, I got to go in ready to play this game hard, no slacking.
Yep. Hey, appreciate the call, bud.
And I like Andrew's call there because, talking about Alabama fans, and I think, this year Alabama fans are also honorary Oklahoma fans. Mm-hmm. And a current player, I would 100% rock a Joe Burrow LSU jersey.
Until
100%.
Either of those teams, because both of those matchups could be playoff potential matchups. So they'll be fans until that moment. We're going to go ahead and take a break and continue our topic today. What jersey would you wear of a team if it wasn't your team with that player? Maybe you've loved him as a kid. Maybe he's family. Maybe he's like, yeah, he's my uncle or my dad. And then you're like, drop the mic right there. We're coming back for more right here. It's the Sports Drive on this Tuesday evening.
Off-season for SEC fans? Yeah, right. We show our team spirit year-round. Now, with the Collegiate Regions Visa Check Card, you can pay like it's game day wherever you go. And with Regions Next Step tips and tools, you and your Visa Check Card can go further. Regions is the official bank of the SEC, and we know greatness is in the grind. To learn more, visit regions.com/collegiate check cards. Regions, member FDIC. Terms, conditions, and fees may apply.
Locally owned ADX Communications, the home of Cat Country 98.7, News Radio 92.3, 1620 AM, and ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM, currently has programming job openings. Specifically, ESPN Pensacola is looking for part-time hosts, board operators, and we have positions open for promotions and production. Find our job application at ESPNpensacola.com. ADX Communications is an equal opportunity employer.
Professional truck drivers, Schneider has more driving opportunities for more lifestyles. Personalize your career by choosing the freight type and driving style that work for you. Dozens of options available in over 50 dedicated accounts with consistent miles and predictable home time. Enjoy more career paths, steady weekly paychecks, and comprehensive benefits, including a 401k plan with a leading company match. Get a better driving job now and a brighter future at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
It's Harley Davidson's birthday, and they're throwing a party. It's Harley Davidson of Pensacola's birthday this week, and Thursday night, it's a birthday blowout-themed bike night. Come out for the celebration with live music from The Flavors. 3D Eats and Tea will have great food for purchase, and Harley's Angels will be serving up free beer, water, and of course, birthday cake. Be there Thursday for the birthday blowout bike night at Harley Davidson of Pensacola. Harley Davidson of Pensacola. Let's ride.
Local sports radio doesn't stop on Fridays, which is why we bring you Sports Call with Davis and Justin.
College football, NFL, the MLB playoffs, UWF football. We're talking about the big games and sporting news every Saturday from 11 to 1.
Plus, interviews with the athletes, coaches, and fellow journalists.
Sports Call with Davis and Justin.
11 to 1 every Saturday on Pensacola's home for local sports, ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-494-6139. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-494-6139.
You're listening to Pensacola's local and ESPN sports station. Your favorite ESPN radio shows, plus high school and UWF Argo football. ESPN Pensacola 1330.
And welcome back. Sports Drive with you right here on ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. Chad Brillante with you, Eric Vadrine. Joe Ford back in our network studio for Blab TV. Caitlin doing a great job pushing the buttons, switching the switches with everything going on all the way up until 7 o'clock and replayed midnight to 2 a.m. 850-623-1330. We're having some fun today. We're opening up the phone lines. Look, Paul Feinbaum from 2 to 5, callers, people. They're still alive, Paul. Paul, Bama's not done. And having some fun and breaking down it. It's fun. Southern college football at its finest. And Paul Feinbaum, that's why he gets paid and he's syndicated in a lot of places. That was very funny, by the way.
Yeah, I'm trying not to laugh out loud.
This show we usually break down, more analytical. We're going to have some fun with jokes and enjoy it. But we don't usually open up the phone lines too much to topics like this. So today was one of these kind of days where we're talking about athletes in sports. What player or coach or any sport Joe, this is your opportunity to throw in your Bundesliga here. Any jersey that you could wear that isn't your team. Maybe you despise that team, but you just love that guy, and you wouldn't be afraid to show up around your friends and family that root for the same team and have that. The Mighty Ducks jersey is pretty cool.
I had Teemu Solane.
That was pretty cool.
I had Teemu Solane stitched on the back.
Teemu Solane right there.
Put Goldberg.
And 850-623-1330 is the number. Some of the embarrassing jerseys that people had as well are ones like the old Ron Dane jersey for the Giants. I saw a guy quickly burn that. Let's go to the phone lines here at 623-1330. Who do we got? Hey, caller, you're on. How's it going today?
Ethan.
Hey, Ethan.
Originally from Tampa, Florida, and a Florida Gator fan. But if there's one player I like to wear, our Super Bowl champion, Pensacola's own Brooks.
Yeah, Derek Brooks. That's a great jersey right there. That's Ethan. That's a jersey right there. And Derek's a great guy. Last time, unexpected, I saw him. I think I caught him off guard. He was getting a phone at Verizon for his kid. But I was, he's just as one of those kind of guys. Because those guys like Derek Brooks, when you're a football player, you're not getting away from anyone, literally. I mean, you take up enough space and everybody sees your face in town. And he gets stopped. But one thing I see with Derek, unlike other Pensacola players that maybe rush for a lot of yards, I'm just throwing that out there. He's one of those guys that always will stop and be kind to everybody he sees. And for that, Derek Brooks is a one of a kind.
Yeah. Lightning. But there's a guy, there's Alex Ovechkin, if you're familiar with hockey. But my dad, was one time he scored the 50th goal against Lank. He did a celebration where the stick was like on fire. And from the Lightning.
Well, you know what? The Lightning, that's pretty cool. And Ethan, the Lightning are a team that is they've had a lot of really good teams lately. My favorite is when Martin St. Louis would score. You get the Chief talking about him afterwards and watching those Lightning games, and just pretty awesome. The Lightning have always they've made the city of Tampa very proud over the last couple of years.
Yeah. Because they didn't think the goal went over the line. And
that was not right. And I'm telling you, it's they do a good job too. The whole broadcast team too, is a good team, and I think that Tampa will be right back. They had one of the best regular seasons until St. Louis beat. I'm not going to say my Bruins. I'm from Boston, but Bruins are the fourth on my list, so I'm not going to claim that as my college teams. I claim fake national titles at UCF, but I'm not going to claim that.
My dad thinks Marchand's a dirty because the year they played him in 2018, he looked Callahan, Marchand and his dirty antics.
Well, and I'm telling you, the Tampa Bay Lightning, that team, there's so many great memories. And Ethan, you just shared a couple with your having an opportunity to go out there with family. But that's what it's all about. Everybody, sometimes people always say, why do managers in baseball wear jerseys? And that's a good question. I mean, it is. Why they're not playing? I mean, that's a very good question. A lot of them now just get away with it because they wear the zip-up jackets, even in the 100-degree weather, like Terry Francona. I don't think I've ever seen him in the jersey. But at the same time, to me, I hope it was because whoever created baseball in that rule thought, you know what? These guys, it just reminds them of the day around the diamond. And they still feel like, even if they're 70, like Tommy Lasorda and a beer gut, they still can feel like they were once a player. So that's what I would hope. That's not the rule probably, but that's what I would hope.
All right. Thanks, Tiger. Chad. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you, Ethan. I appreciate the call.
Thanks, Ethan.
Thank you. Appreciate the call.
Who was the 49ers coach back in the day that used to wear suits on the sideline?
Nolan.
Mike Nolan, yeah.
Well, then it was his dad before that, though. Or are you talking recent? Mike Nolan.
No, this was about 10 years ago.
Yeah, it was Mike Nolan.
Yeah,
it was Mike Nolan. His dad used to do it before him. Yeah. And some of them have that. Howard Schnellenberger used to do that back in the day.
Would you rather have the manager on the baseball team wears the full uniform? Would you rather see that? Would you rather like to see that in the NBA or the NFL, where the head coach has to wear the full uniform?
Well, I think for an embarrassing Halloween prank to see Greg Popovich in a Spurs jersey,
Bill Belichick just padded up in full pads.
Well, I think basketball would be the funniest because of the arms, and they can't do the undershirts. It's illegal.
The little turkey necks.
You can do the AI arm sleeve,
with
which
the
would be
triceps.
If you did the AI arm sleeve, it'd be even more embarrassing, unlike Greg Pop. But think about the basketball. Stan Van Gundy in a Magic or Pistons jersey. I mean, that would be hilarious. That would be the best sport, I think.
And then some of them, obviously Ty Lue when he was with the Cavs. I mean, that's home for them. So.
Or if you were a swimming coach and you had to wear the jersey, that'd be embarrassing for some guys. But looking at the best jerseys, okay, here I've got a list of some of the ones as we continue with Jersey Day here. And coming up here tonight, we do have a Major League Baseball game. It's game number 4 of the Houston Astros and Tampa Bay Rays. Right now, where now the whole entire city of Montreal is getting behind them. Sacre Bleu, or Border Buddies, Dome Busters, whatever you want to call it. But they're rooting them on. Houston tonight, it's a tough pitching matchup. It looks like Tampa's going to do what they sort of angered everybody in Vegas, where they use 6 relievers. That's what nobody else really cared except for people in Vegas, because everything in baseball is situational based on, nobody's going to argue that the Washington Nationals were a better team during the regular season than the LA Dodgers. But yesterday, you had Max Scherzer going up against a pitcher in Rich Hill who was hurt and isn't a Cy Young winner, and Washington goes out and wins the game, but Max Scherzer was a favorite. It's a rare sport that because of one guy on the mound, that team's the favorite, even though the other team's a better roster.
Right.
So for the Rays, they always throw in these bullpen. Like tonight, they're starting Diego Castillo. He pitches. He's not going to go more than 1 or 2 innings at the most. But everybody in Vegas has no. They're like, how do I judge this game? Because are they going to throw in Blake Snell, or are they going to throw in? So they go with 1 or 2 guys of the bullpen, and then they go with the guy that you don't know, and everything. So everybody hated the Rays to root against them. Like tonight, the Astros are minus 230, which is huge in baseball. Yeah. They're not even. They just lost in Tampa. They're going back to the Trop, where it's going to be rocking against a team that's pretty good, and they're more than a 2-1 favorite. And the difference is because we don't know who the heck the Rays and Diego Castillo versus Justin Verlander, zero chance Castillo's going to go toe-to-toe for him for 9.
Right.
But if they can find 3 guys or 4 guys to go 2 innings of scoreless ball and get Verlander pulled in the 7th and get to that bullpen, which they have already, then that's the difference. So it's going to be exciting to see. I realize it's 5:51. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about some of the embarrassing jerseys, like the guy still in Carolina. Maybe he's homeless and it was given to the person on the side of the street, but wearing the Ray Caruth jersey. We're coming back for more right here in the Sports Drive.
Imogen and I started Jewelers Trade Shop in 1956.
Our goal at Jewelers Trade Shop has always been to give our customers the best experience imaginable. It's something that my grandfather instilled in my father, and without a doubt, my father has passed on to me. Those basic core goals and values that shaped our business 56 years ago are still very much alive and a driving force behind Jewelers Trade Shop today.
For 3 generations, the story continues. Jewelers Trade Shop in downtown Pensacola.
Imagine having a luxury hotel quality bath in your own home. That's what you'll get with Bath Fitter Pensacola. Bath Fitter will install a beautiful luxury tub in as little as 1 day. There's no demo, no mess, no stress. With thousands of options to choose from, custom design a bath you'll love. It's under warranty for as long as you own your home. With over 35 years experience and more than 2 million satisfied customers, Bath Fitter makes upgrading your bath easy. Visit bathfitter.com today to book your free in-home consultation or call 429-1777.
Locally owned Jackson Pace Pharmacy has exciting news for ED patients. Tadalafil, the FDA-approved generic for Cialis, is now here, and the cost savings are huge. Save 80% on the 20-milligram tablets, 30 tablets for $80, less than $3 a pill. A prescription from your doctor is required, so stop by Jackson Pace Pharmacy, 2256 West 9 Mile Road in Pensacola, and cash in on the savings today.
Calling all Gator fans. Time to get down and dirty in the swamp.
Tony to the end zone, caught, touchdown! Here comes Russo, and the Gators win! Jordan Matthews is a postseason hero!
ESPN Pensacola 1330 FM 99.1 brings you Go Gators every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Go Gators on ESPN Pensacola 1330 FM 99.1. Brought to you by the Holman Law Firm.
Hello friends, this is retired Sheriff Wendell Hall. I support a reasonable impact fee, however these fees cannot be used for existing infrastructure needs. I support the sales tax. Everyone pays something, not just property owners. Millions of our property tax dollars are spent for law enforcement, jails, and prosecution for those that pay no taxes. With a sales tax, they will pay something. Please vote yes for this sales tax. It's a fair tax. Thank you.
Political ad paid for by Moving Santa Rosa Forward.
Paul Feinbaum here for the Southeast leader for cranes and equipment rental, CraneWorks. The CraneWorks team in Nashville, Birmingham, and Mobile is ready to make your next construction or maintenance project a big success. Give CraneWorks a call for your next lift, machinery moving, or rigging project. And don't forget, RentalWorks has a full line of rental equipment for jobs both big and small, and now offering qualified operators for all equipment, including aerial and earth-moving equipment. Call CraneWorks at 877-282-LIFT or visit them on the web at craneworks.com.
Talk football every day with Pensacola's own Coach K.
The key on offense is going to be whether Franks can come back and duplicate what he did in the last 4 games.
Every weekday, noon till 1 on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 FM 99.1.
ESPN Pensacola is your home to UWF Argos football. Catch every game, home or away, on Pensacola's home for local sports. ESPN Pensacola 1330 FM 99.1.
You're listening to Pensacola's local and ESPN sports station. Your favorite ESPN radio shows, plus high school and UWF Argo football. ESPN Pensacola 1330.
I can tell, Eric, with that smile on the side, you've been downloading some songs today, haven't you? Have you been?
Yeah, I'm.
I was gonna say,
I've kind of turning this into like a basketball
we
locker
got
room.
some jams here, you know. If
like
somebody is like flipping over,
this sounds like I just turned on the Xbox and I've got NBA 2K on.
Setting
radio.
the lineups, setting the lineups right here, something like that.
Making some trades.
This is like the shot, when people are warming up before the game. Did you ever see that video? It went viral of the guy that dressed up in the New Orleans Pelicans gear,
and he walked out on the court.
And he looked sort of the part. He wasn't complete like a hobo-looking guy,
right?
But he had the sweats and all that, and he was doing the stretch-ups and he doing the back and getting it all ready. And he got a ball and he got the shot off, and then like security guard comes running over. There's your typical security guard that's getting underpaid, that's retired, that wants the seat because they stand there and usher while they get to watch a whole basketball game every night. So it's like a 65-year-old man who like walked over and he was like, a 100-year-old man. The 65's new. I mean, I see guys at the gym that can outlift me and outrun me at 65. So that's the wrong, like 90-year-old man. And he was sitting there like walking by and like trying to pull him off the court. But it was great. Everybody laughed. He wasn't trying to hurt anybody, but clearly they take that serious. And that was pretty hilarious.
The players are worth millions of dollars. But I will say,
it was funny.
I will say that you said that's typical security. No, I think that's typical Louisiana. We love to joke around and have a good time. So
everything's a little different out there, but that will get you arrested, folks. No matter what that joke, that guy probably did. Even if he had to go to Pelican jail, which was like inside the arena for a day, which is usually like nice with the beverage, you're still going to be taken out there.
I think if when Langston was there, I think I might have been able to get away with it. Langston probably would have been like, hey, that's my guy. Leave him alone. Leave him alone.
Yeah,
but now
he's okay.
How about the guy?
In
How about the
you can go bail him out.
The Warriors fan that said that he got courtside seats for he was like forging them or whatever, and he would just go there. It's like,
well, have you ever seen the video on YouTube too of the group that actually found a way to get inside the Superdome and they taped the entire thing during it was the Super Bowl between it was the championship. Another way to call that.
Was it the Harbaugh Bowl?
It was the Harbaugh Bowl. Yeah, the one the lights went out. He was not the one that put the lights out, but it was the one where he and his buddy got into like a security truck, like a Brinks truck or something, or some kind of like the whole thing. And this was it was a smooth con. I mean, they were like, hey, we're just dropping off money here to the concessions, and they both had there, and they're like, okay, do you have your gate code? Look, I got these heavy bags. Are you going to help me with it? And they're like, no, just go through. And then they like walk through, and then one of them changed because there's still there's like 4 different to go in the back during that for security purposes because it's the Super Bowl and it's also New Orleans. They did a lot of checks, but they found a way to get through like 4 different security gates and videotape the whole thing. They had like a GoPro on. And I would not condone any of this. At the end of the day, is they pretty much rip somebody off. The kindness of them, I'm trying to find optimism in this nonsense, was they actually did not take someone's seat. They like stood against the side rails where people can stand. So they didn't take up somebody's seat and fight them for a ticket. Like, where most of the sponsors, because you'll see a lot of empty seats.
That's where the line was crossed.
Yeah. You will see empty seats for a Super Bowl. And it's not because people don't want to show up for the Super Bowl. It's a big company like a McDonald's or Coke that gets a conglomerate of like 50, 60 seats. And only like 20 of them or 30 of them. Well, more than that. But maybe only 40 show up. And there's like 20. But those add up all over the stadium. That's where we're going with that. Looking at the most embarrassing jersey that you ever bought or saw somebody wear. Besides, like I said, the Marshall's rack is a good indicator. I have been tempted multiple times where you see like a Grant Hill Detroit Pistons jersey, and it was like $9. Grant Hill's whole career with the Magic should have gone on the Marshall's rack, I'll tell you that much. But when we come back, we're going to talk a little more on all the big games coming up here in college football from LSU and Florida. That's where it'll be this week. Once again, back-to-back weeks for the Gators on College Game Day. This time, it's going to be a little different in Baton Rouge. We're coming back for more.
Football season has arrived, and ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM 99.1 FM is where the action is. Bringing your high school football every Friday night, UWF football on Saturdays, and the NFL on Sundays. If you would like to partner with ESPN Pensacola as a sponsor or promotional partner, give us a call at 262-6000.
ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM 99.1 FM. WEBY Milton, Pensacola.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Coming up here in the second hour of the Sports Drive, we're going to talk a little more about what jersey would you be caught dead in or alive if it wasn't your team. And also break down some Major League Baseball. Tampa Bay in that funky stadium today against Houston.
Just become the NFL's all-time leading rusher. Across the middle, it is caught for the first. It's Baldwin shaking free and sprinting down the sideline for the touchdown. His third of the day. Doug Baldwin. Derek Brooks, who ran back 3 interceptions cement the Super Bowl.
Boxing's elite, the new WBA heavyweight champion of the world, Roy Jones Jr.
Both been beaten. The result has come up on screens that Gatlin's taken it. Goodness me, it was a blue American vest, 992 for Gatlin. 992 by the American champion to take gold.
Another Watson is wearing a green jacket at Augusta. And this time, his name is Bubba.
Scores on a 34-yard touchdown run by the Doak Walker Award winner, Trick Richardson, who broke a lot of Emmett Smith's records back in Pensacola, Florida.
And welcome back. Sports Drive with you right here on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. Simulcast on Blab TV each and every night, having some fun all the way up until 7 o'clock, and then we will send it over to an opportunity later tonight at midnight to 2 a.m. That's not sending it over. That's a huge leap of 5 hours for the replay of the show on TV tonight. So you're just sending it over 5 hours, take a quick nap, and then wake up 5 hours and rewatch us for the same show right there. So having some fun, and if you miss it, you can always catch it again tonight. Today we're having some fun. Eric Vadrine joining us as well. Our good friend and co-host Joe Ford. Caitlin back in her Blab TV studios. 850-623-1330 is the number. Today, our conversation is if you could have one jersey, maybe a player you've always liked and it's not your team. Maybe he handed your son, that autographed football and said, here you go, son. You earn this. Like one of those like commercials for the soda product, and have some fun. What jersey would that be if you could wear one? Let's go back to our phone lines. Caller, who's this?
Hey, this is
Who's this again? I'm sorry about that.
Ethan.
Ethan, what's happening?
Hey, if I know we had a 2-year going to the AFC title game, but does Mark Sanchez jerseys count? Or what do you think?
Mark Sanchez jersey, yeah. It counts. He would have that, and I would hope you would pick his USC jersey over the Jets jersey, but or the other 15 teams he popped back on the.
Joe might have it.
Yeah, he actually could have could have a collection, maybe a collage, like a mosaic collage of different Sanchez patterns of his jersey. You could film. You could put a whole quilt. I mean, pretty cool. Ethan, I appreciate the call, and I hope, thank you for weighing in on that. I appreciate that, buddy.
All right. Thank you.
Thank
you.
you.
Have a great day.
All right. Ethan giving us a call right there as 850-623-1330. What jersey would you wear if it was a jersey of the teams? Here are some of the ones that are on the no-no list, I think. Are you fair?
This is for you?
No, this is just in general, I'd hope. If you're wearing this, maybe you're a gangster or something. You want to do that, But Ray Caruth, Carolina, we can agree on that? That's
nah.
Probably not wearing that.
I think he murdered somebody. Aaron Hernandez, same factor. There's a trend going on for the first two. Don't wear their jersey. Although it's sort of sad for society that Aaron Hernandez's jersey for the Patriots, when he was going through the case before he was found guilty, I don't think it changed the fact, but it was the number 2 jersey sale. So I mean that's saying something. Maybe it was vintage and they were thrown out.
Yeah, I won't say his name, but a guy in our fantasy football league wore his Hernandez jersey.
He's that guy. And, some of them are nice guys. They just like to josh and. I guess about murder. Not to say I have no ground to talk anything. Half the things.
Did you have a Hernandez jersey when he was playing with the Patriots?
No. Remember, he played across from also Gronk. But no, my jersey has been one that my wife got me that says Brillante in the back. I think I've worn it.
He's that guy.
That's the LSU one?
Listen, it was a wedding gift, and it.
Again. You're that guy. That's okay.
Okay.
I'm just regardless of.
It's a safe financial bet because Brillante is not going to leave the team.
That's true.
That's right. It'll always
what
be
number
there.
is
That's
on
true.
the back? Number
That's
1.
A great point because I owned a Rodney Harrison jersey, and I also owned a Drew Bledsoe, and I also owned a jersey before that of Curtis Martin. So all three of those guys, they end up going in the closet. I wore Martin with pride though.
Oh,
Even
yeah.
though he became a Jet, that's maybe a good example of I still wore my Martin jersey. This doesn't really fit the mold of what we're talking here because it was still a Pats jersey. But I wore my Curtis Martin jersey even when he was on the Jets because my favorite Martin. I mean, Curtis was awesome.
What
Came
numbers
from sixth rounder?
What numbers on the back of your Brilliante jersey?
15.
Okay.
Yeah, that was. But looking, I think that was the same one Tebow wore too. So now it was like the Patriot Tebow jersey, even though he never started a game. Here's another one: Greg Carty Cowboys jersey. Charlie Rogers, number one pick there for the Lions.
I would have worn a Charlie Rogers Michigan State jersey because he was actually decent. But yeah, wow, that's a name I haven't.
How about the Donovan McNabb Vikings jersey?
I had no recollection of him on the Vikings.
You don't remember? He was on the Vikings
right after the Christian Ponder experiment.
Yeah, he was with the Vikings. That's what I'm saying. Now Brett Favre's 16 retirement jerseys too. But how about Cade McNown Bears jersey?
Yeah,
that would have been
that's a good one.
That would be a good one right there. Or like a real big traitor that left your team and went to the other team.
How about an Albert Hainsworth Redskins jersey or
like a picture of like a guy stepping on someone's head with that? No, Fat Albert Hainsworth. Hey, no, he does not get that one as well. Josh Freeman Bucks jersey. How about your Bucks fan?
I'm a Jameis Winston fan. That's why I had the Jameis Winston jersey. But no, I didn't have a Josh Freeman jersey.
I would hope not. A lot of people did. These are people that got conned into it based on that these guys were going to be something. They were going to be like, this wasn't like, if you get a jersey made, like if you can go to the store and get one made, and it's pretty cool. There's actually a lot of people at the NFL tailgate show we do at World of Beer that have jerseys sort of off the beaten path.
Yeah.
Like AJ Boye. That's how you say it. Yeah, that's
he's a UCF Knight.
He's a UCF. He's great. Just making sure I'm saying it right. It's Bouye. I know how to, but it's just
I'm giving your Knights some credit here, man.
I knew it was. But AJ Boye, there's a guy that comes to the. Maybe he's listening. Maybe not. But he's comes in every week in a Jacksonville Jaguar with a Boye jersey, and he played a little with the Texans too, I know, those are not jerseys that if you go to Dick's Sporting Goods, you're going to get it. You know what I'm saying? That you had to create, sort of some of those that you probably don't. Matt Flynn Seahawks jersey, I don't think that one is selling off the rack. You know how much money he made more in the first 3 years during Russell Wilson?
Yeah.
He had 16 times more money than Russell Wilson throughout the first 3 years. That one game, you want to Lynn Sanity at least had a week before he became crap, and well, not crap, but I mean, for what he got paid, crap,
right.
Matt Flynn, one game,
with my Packers
in a
against
loss,
the Lions.
No, against the Patriots.
I
really,
thought it was the Lions.
I thought it was the Lions.
He had a great game against the Lions, but he played against the Patriots on Monday Night Football, where he went toe to toe with this Brady in his prime. It was the one, remember, the big Jumbo offensive lineman?
I remember
who
that.
Picked up the kick and went all the way back to the 2-yard line.
Yeah.
I think I was still in college on this. It was 2008 when this happened. But I remember he went back and he went all the way down the field, and that was the game Matt Flynn went toe to toe, and it was a loss, but it was it was Monday Night Football. It was 38-35, and Flynn had 4 touchdowns, 5, and it was part of one of the big reasons. Yes, he did beat the Lions. That helped, but I remember that game.
The Kellen Winslow Jr. Cleveland Browns jersey,
his soldier jersey, his military jersey.
Yeah,
he's a soldier, right?
Darren Sharper jersey.
Soldier for old ladies. That guy is the worst. I mean, there are some people that do some bad things, but even I have standards on that I will not go to where Kellen Winslow went.
I'll tell you the most random jersey I ever had. It was one of the first jerseys that I ever had, and for the life of me, I do not know why I got this, or what I was thinking, but it was a Rick Mirer jersey.
Oh, okay.
The Seattle Seahawks quarterback. It was the navy blue, like the old school Seahawks jerseys that they used to wear. So I had a Rick Mirer jersey.
He was a Notre Dame. Jeff White's out there.
I do not know why I wanted that. Maybe I thought it looked cool. But, growing up in Columbus, Ohio, I had to be the only person that had a Seattle Seahawks jersey as a kid.
What is the biggest, and I think it's probably Man City to Man U, but from a soccer standpoint, what is the biggest,
don't
walk into our territory with that jersey?
It has to be the El Clasico, Real Madrid, Barcelona.
Okay, all right. That would be like the Yanks socks or, okay.
So what, did you have an embarrassing jersey that you had, Chad?
I was a Patriot fan before they were good, so all of them were embarrassing, but I would say the one that was probably the most embarrassing, the one I didn't wash, and it was really smelly that day I would say the worst jersey Me wearing a UCF night jersey was embarrassing with my MFRA. Let me see. I would have to go with I actually did own at one point a Carmelo Anthony Denver Nuggets jersey.
I have 3.
Yeah, it was.
Well, I'm a Nuggets fan, so.
And the reason why I was really embarrassing was, I would wear it to the gym to work out, things like that, and I was trying to get myself into decent shape at that time, and it fit the body okay, and it was. But
I'm okay with Carmelo Nuggets jersey. I'm okay with that
because that's when he still got respected. Carmelo Anthony, if he would have retired, if he would have pulled a Calvin Johnson. Like retired with the team like Calvin did, that never did anything, but he was a great player on that team. If he would have retired as a Nugget, I think he would be looked at as not only a Hall of Famer, but one of the better offensive players of all time.
Especially after the run in 2009.
But after the embarrassments of of pretty much teams not even wanting him to be on a roster spot. That was the thing. Like when he was with the Rockets, it wasn't that they weren't giving him a fair shake to start, because there's still those old timers that will give you like 14 off the bench. I call them chuckers, Antoine Walker, those guys that they score a ton of points, but they sometimes don't play defense and when they want to, and they shoot all the time. He was great in his prime, but there's those guys. Chris Gatling used to do it. There's those players that just, Juwan Howard, score you 20 points, but don't do much for the team. Overall, I would say for a guy like Carmelo, when you can't even give him that spot on a roster to play, that's bad. Like Houston didn't even want him on the team. Yeah. And this was in a D'Antonio team that goes up and down the court. You're Mark D'Antoni, and that is pretty sad right there. So,
yeah, I think the embarrassing jersey for me, just because I'm a Florida State fan, I have a Carolina Panthers Kelvin Benjamin jersey.
Oh, really?
And I thought
now it's an offensive lineman jersey, I think.
Yeah.
You've seen him lately.
But no, I thought he was going to be the real deal because obviously him and Jameis. So I was like, oh, he's going to Carolina. He's going to go against, at the time, the Saints defense wasn't that great. I was like, okay, he's going to be able to put up some numbers. And then he actually had a really good rookie year, tore his ACL the second year, and then it just went downhill after that. So I guess that would be my jersey that I'm like, oh, probably wasn't the best investment. Yeah. But my favorite jersey to wear for fun, I have a Jackie Moon jersey my wife got me.
That's a good one. Tropics jersey right there?
Oh, yeah.
Tropics, yeah.
Yes. And one of my players that I coach actually had the away jersey, Jackie Moon jersey, because his name was Jack.
Yeah.
So I literally coached in a Jackie Moon jersey one day.
That's pretty fun.
Out of respect for my player.
ELE,
that was
baby.
Really fun.
ELE. Everybody
some of those stores, you can get those movie sports jerseys, the Mighty Ducks. You can get the Charlie Conway jersey, things like that.
I had a group. There was a group wearing Miami Sharks jerseys with Al Pacino and Any Given Sunday out there. I think it was a Lawrence Taylor one. When he was taking the saw and taking it off to the yellow Hummer in the movie right there, they had those jerseys because they didn't want to be caught dead in the Dolphin jersey. So there was a group of 3 or 4 people wearing Miami Sharks jerseys last week to the.
What's a jersey that you had that you don't have anymore, but that it was so cool you wish you still had it?
To me, probably a Packers Brett Favre jersey, just because I'm a Packers fan. Because once he retired, I mean, at that point, it doesn't matter if he's playing for the Vikings because he's retired. So everyone's going to remember him for the Packers. So for me, it would be Brett Favre, just being a Packers fan.
For me, I would say the one jersey I do not have anymore that I regret would be
Drew Bledsoe.
No, I burned that, and I burned that confidently too, and I'm not taking that back. It was a game he threw 4 picks in a big moment, and then he didn't even he was gone to the Cowboys, and his career, he set the course. I thank Drew Bledsoe for a few things. He did get to the Super Bowl with Terry Glenn, Ben Wintercoats, and made some plays and got smoked by Green Bay, but he made it there. But I thank him more than anything for taking one for the team. Because on one of the nastiest, vicious hits in the history of sports that he had nothing to do with setting up the future, Tom Brady came in and was the future of sports pretty much for the football. And now that I'm saying that, probably half the people out there would love to hate Drew Bledsoe for that reason, that he opened up the doors for Tom Brady in the future for sports. So, yeah, I would say the worst jersey, though, that the one that I regret the most that I could have back would be probably the jersey I had, and it was Atlanta Braves, and it was a Otis Nixon jersey. And the reason I got it was I was at the game, and my dad, I was just, I was wearing just like a ball cap, and my dad got me that jersey, and it meant something more.
Yeah.
But then it got lost in the goodwill, and I was also, I think, 12, and it clearly would not fit. So you can't, unless you're going to like put it up on the wall as a mantle, as sort of what we have behind me, as sort of this
Right.
arrangement. I've had many offers, and not joking offers, for Wiley, the Coyote back there on TV, but that is actually Mary's Wiley. She worked with the Spurs in San Antonio, so she will not. She's kind enough to put that up there. I'm not going to be taking that. But overall, I would say, it would have to be the Otis Nixon because it meant a little more in that moment right there.
So did you have a friend that had a jersey that you were like, dear Jesus, what are you wearing? Because for me in
Joe wore his
Louisiana,
Jets jersey. Oh, I'm sorry, no, you didn't.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah.
For me in Louisiana, I had a friend that had an Aaron Brooks jersey, and I'm like, dear Jesus, like, have you no stand? It's like, what are you doing?
The Aints. I mean, that's what you. But that was the guy.
Yeah,
I mean, that was the guy to buy. I mean, that's sad, but
Brooks
that's
and Deuce McAllister. I remember. I still remember. Anytime I hear the name Aaron Brooks, I remember they played the Rams in a playoff game. I want to say it was like 2000, 2001 or something. It was the year between the Rams Super Bowl appearances, so it had to have been 2000. But the Rams were playing the Saints in a playoff game, and everyone was like, "Oh, the Rams are just going to destroy the Saints." I mean, and Aaron Brooks went off, and
his went downhill quick. Though,
it did. His trajectory went way down, like almost
like Space
immediately
Jam.
after that game.
I'll never forget the backwards pass for like 20 yards where you're like, oh my gosh, like that's like not acceptable at a Pee Wee level, let alone an NFL level. So that was just the one guy I was like, dear Jesus, what are you wearing?
Jersey that I always wish I had. I had a friend in high school. And it's another. I don't know what it is about Seahawks.
Yeah.
You're a
just
Seahawks
always
fan.
really wanted
I
to go to
guess.
Washington
I don't
State.
know.
If you do not want to be a Jets fan and want to be a Seahawks fan, we would all at this table completely understand.
Well, the good news, if you have a new Seahawks jersey, you can actually become a crossing guard for free at the local schools.
Yeah,
you can just go out there and wave
but
traffic.
it was Sean Alexander when he was kind of the MVP of the league. It's kind of a forgotten era in Seattle because the uniforms that they wore were kind of in between the ones that they have now and the royal blue and the silver ones, but they had a really nice uniform combination, and I think it was the one they were wearing when Marshawn had his big run against the Saints.
Yeah.
So it was kind of right before the Saints, or right before the Seahawks became the superpowers that we knew them to be under Pete Carroll. But I always wish I had a Sean Alexander jersey.
You know which
for
one
whatever
would be?
reason.
That would be Sean Alexander, and he's an Alabama fan as well. You can weigh in 623-1330. You know which one I want to get a throwback that somebody has to wear to the next Argo game? I was talking to him on the field today, and all the folks down there, Brett Berg and Dave Scott, Brian Henry, and the whole entire team. Great folks. I saw Jeff Burkhammer, Coach Burkhammer, down there at the game this week. But we were down there. We had our tents down there for homecoming for the Argo walk into the game, announcing, having fun with Cat Country and ESPN Pensacola. And I remember getting to go out there and just talk. It was before the game. It was about an hour and a half from kickoff, and Coach Shinnick was on the field, and we just had a good conversation about life. And we've done some shows together and been friends from day one. But I want to get a Colorado Buffaloes Shinnick jersey made. That would be cool. Played for Colorado. He played there.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so
He's
his
a
whole
football
family.
family,
His whole football family.
Or when did he play there?
He played. I
Like
don't know the
80s?
date. Yeah, I'd say in the 80s. Yeah. But maybe if you're listening out there, if you have a
Rashawn
Colorado,
Salam, Colorado jersey.
Yeah, he is.
Cordell Stewart.
Shalom. Yeah, that's vintage now for
Yeah.
Salam. Sadly, he is no longer. But I'm gonna go with Shinnick though. That's the only jersey that I would wear in that case right there. So yeah, he was the long snapper in the 80s. So there you go. So I'm getting that official word.
Oh, did he just text you?
I just got that from Brian Henry. No, that wasn't
okay.
Coach. Coach is at practice, I think. But
Okay.
no, a long snapper in the 80s right there. That's
cool.
pretty
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. We should. We could probably make that happen.
That's awesome. That's really cool. I would wear a Joe Cardona jersey too. He's the long snapper for the Pats who went to the Navy, and we got to interview him and he was the first person that kicked in that I was old. Everything. He was in the military, in the Navy, and he goes, yes, sir, to everything. I was like, dude, you are like 5 times as big and you have a beard, and you're calling me sir right here. I was like, yeah, that moment kicked in. But Joe Cardona would be a good one as well.
I'll tell you what I really like is that we're all basketball fans. I really like that some of the teams now are throwing it back to the 90s with some of their uniforms. Like the Utah Jazz are bringing back the purple.
Yes.
The Bulls are bringing back the black with the red pinstripes.
Some of them are good. Some of them
they're
don't
all
need
good.
to
The
come.
Nuggets are
Like-
bringing the mountain back.
Yeah, the Nuggets. Who was the other one?
I love those, yeah.
There's another team out there
I
that's
don't know
bringing-
what the Jazz are doing, though. What are they doing with their colors?
I don't
the color
know.
schemes are
They
like, they're
should have
orange
never
now.
left the
old
purple.
Jazz. With
Yeah.
the if New Orleans wasn't going to get the Jazz notes that they used to have back in the day,
Yeah.
then this whole orange thing they got going on, their colors are freaking me out. That's not what
the
it,
Raptors.
Yeah.
The Raptors are bringing
Yeah.
back their 90s.
How about the Bucks cream colors? No,
I
many bad
love
memories.
those. I love. I
but their
wish,
fans didn't because they recognized
I
1
know,
in 15.
But
I mean,
I wish the NFL, NBA, like all the professional sports would just go back to the 90s because it was just so much better.
The Killer Bee, jail-looking yellow
Oh,
and black
yeah.
stripes. I did like Earl Patriot in the helmet, but that also reminds me of terrible memories. And the
But
new
they
one,
look so awesome now.
Yeah. As a Jets fan, they do. No, the jerseys actually did look cool.
Yeah,
though.
they
I agree.
do.
All right. But the people inside them were bad, and I
Right.
don't like that.
That's true.
Yeah, I'm not getting a Grogan jersey or an Eason. For all of us out there, you can weigh in at 623-1330. I don't even have
I thought you
no
were about
clue.
to sign off
Yeah, I was
right
about
now.
to. Yeah, I
Like,
was
we
about
got 40
to.
minutes,
Sometimes-
Chad, abort.
The thing is, sometimes punching the buttons, I'll do that. I'll start then, and then I try to completely con people into believing like I meant to say that.
Yeah.
For all of us, was not the starting point to where that was going. I was about to say, when we come back, we'll talk some more on this, but I tried to, convince everybody. Nobody was buying it. On that note, we're coming back after this on the Sports Drive.
There's a lot going on right now, and broadcasters are on the ground covering all of it, bringing you the weather, the traffic, and breaking news, all while entertaining you 24 hours a day. Someone needs to tell you what's going on around the world and in our hometowns, and that someone is us. We are free radio. We are always there. We are broadcasters. Visit wearebroadcasters.com or text radio to 52886 to learn more. Furnished by NAB and this station.
From the all-time leading running back Emmitt Smith to Hall of Fame linebackers like Derek Brooks, Pensacola is full of NFL legends. Well, how about joining some of the NFL legends every Sunday down at World of Beer, 200 South Palafox for your ESPN Pensacola NFL tailgate party. It all gets kicked off at 10 o'clock. Stay around for the best games, prizes, and more at your favorite destination. It's the NFL Tailgate Show on ESPN Pensacola 1330 FM 99.1.
Here are the ESPN Pensacola 94.5 contest rules. You can win one prize per household per contest in any 30-day period, unless specified by individual contest rules. All prizes on ESPN Pensacola 94.5 are non-transferable, non-redeemable in cash, nor exchangeable for any other prize. ESPN Pensacola 94.5 prizes must be redeemed within a 30-day period of winning, and you must be 18 years of age or older to win. For a complete list of rules, visit ESPNpensacola.com.
This is a message for all parents. If you as an adult think it's tough being separated or divorced, have you truly stopped to consider how your being separated or divorced affects your children? How parents treat one another, either during or after divorce, can have lifelong effects on your children. Whether you are separated from your spouse or even actually divorced, in either situation, keep in mind that you and your spouse are parents forever. Hello, my name is Stephen T. Holman, and I am a family law attorney. If you have questions regarding custody, visitation, or child support, call me today for a free consultation at 435-6909. That's 435-6909.
On Wednesday at the Cat Country 98.7 News Radio ESPN studios, we're going to host Cookout for a Cure.
Pensacola Egg Fest is cooking. The meats are provided by the Butcher Shop, and we got beans and coleslaw provided by Sonny's Barbecue.
Buffalo Rock Pepsi stepped up to do the drinks, and all of the proceeds, 100% of it, will be donated to the Making Strides Against Breast Cancer Walk and the American Cancer Society in an effort to help increase the survival rate of women with breast cancer.
Please order your plate now at catcountry987.com.
The Paul Feinbaum Show.
Everything you wanted to happen hasn't happened.
Oh my gosh, that's all any of y'all want to talk about is Alabama.
You're really not understanding the conversation, but anyway, we can move on.
Alabama's dynasty has just begun.
Hold on a second, Charles. Somebody wants to talk to you.
I don't want to talk that compelling moron.
He's nothing but a lame-headed old man.
2 till 5 every weekday afternoon. ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
You're out of your freaking mind, cowturd.
You're listening to Pensacola's local and ESPN sports station. Your favorite ESPN radio shows, plus high school and UWF Argo football. ESPN Pensacola 1330.
I got loyalty, got royalty inside my DNA.
quarter piece. Got war and peace inside my DNA. I got power, poison, pain, and joy inside my DNA. I got hustle, though ambition.
And welcome back to the Sports Drive. So the ratio of these rap songs will be, I appreciate the hard work and dedication put in today, and I like this back in the day.
I'm just showing off the
Look,
new music.
I could Jersey Shore when I had the spiky hair with all of them, the fist pumping up. But we will have a balance between this and some
I just got to get through everything
I'm a classic
the first
rock guy,
time.
so
So
no, not bad.
You got to make sure everything's
Joe,
clean.
Is there music or not really? Is there a music genre that you would?
Well, I think the thing about doing this is that you want the music, the bumper music, when you're coming in, you want it to kind of reflect the mood of the show. Like if we're getting ready to kind of have a lighter segment or whatever,
be a pillow commercial for me right now.
Yeah, right. But
Not
I
for
mean,
the show,
if you're getting into like kind of a lighthearted, fun topic, maybe the music should reflect that. And if you're getting into something serious, so I mean that's just it's. I like what we're doing so far.
Right.
I mean,
I just got to make sure everything's clean, and that way I know I can keep it on the playlist.
And the great time to do that is live on air.
So if we start talking Dolphin football, we just have to play "Living on a Prayer" or something. Okay,
exactly.
Right, that's fair.
Or taps.
Yeah.
Like military, just.
Well, you're as cold as ice. No, something like that. But getting into some of the other things going on here before you can continue to call in. We're having some fun today. What jersey would you actually wear and not feel too bad? And maybe you would wear it with pride if it wasn't your team. It could be even your rival. I would rarely think college football jerseys, because unless you go to the embroidery store or one of those nanas with a sewing machine that do it cheaper but get like 9 days to get back. But if you get that and you get that done, seamstress. If you go down there, would you have a name of a jersey in college put on? If you, let's say you're a Florida fan, would you wear a Herschel Walker? Probably a quick note of that. Or what fan would you wear? I want to get that Shinnick Buffs jersey. He was actually an offensive guard, and we'll see.
Be cool.
But Brian Henry rated in Scott Seculus, and he was a pretty much a joke when he played for the Patriots. But that was also part of the pathway of setting up greatness for the future. 850-623-1330 is the number. What jersey would you wear that with pride, or one that you bought and you felt like you were conned into, like a Ron Dane New York Giants jersey? That would have been pretty bad. That's Mike Allstott's one I would wear. I would wear a Mike Allstott jersey.
I would
love the A-Train. I love choo-choo. I saw a guy one time do that in public, and I was like, what's happening right now? I looked out, and then right down the end zone touchdown. He was during the fantasy football days before all the league set in, where like you still had like the commissioner, which was me at that time, that would just do it by hand. You would have like yards pass, and we had the
on
sheets,
a whiteboard,
and we'd have the sheets of the people each week, and then
scratch them off as they get picked. So my dad did that.
But the A-Train, because touchdowns were 6 points, so that hasn't changed. He was always the guy. Right.
Really like a Tommy Frazier Nebraska jersey.
Hey, I'm cool with that. I like
better than Lawrence Phillips. I'd say that would work as well. I would look at one of the other ones that a lot of people. I was always, even though I never had any ties to this team, I loved Dikembe Mutombo. Back in the day, just no. Then the commercial with him knocking the kids, all the cereal from the aisle. Like the guy could get, no, not in my house. And now he's like an ambassador for the UN or something. Yeah,
and his nephew just got drafted by the Clippers, Kevin Gelly from Florida State.
Oh, there he is. Yeah.
Yeah. So
he's look. I would.
Which Mutombo jersey would it be? Would it be the one with
Nuggets?
Like
the Nuggets. Yeah, that's
okay. So not the
Hawks.
Hawks.
One of him. No.
Or the Sixers.
No, Mutombo.
Hey, Sixers. Yeah. Those
No.
cool uniforms.
The skyline right there for the Nuggets. So the moment where the iconic moment of him, the 1-versus-8 against Seattle, holding the basketball on the side right there, and that moment right there.
Yeah.
7'2" on the court. Yeah. It's I would go with that one. That one be probably the one I'd wear as well. Let's look at some of the headlines from the day as we take a look here. UWF into the top 25, by the way. Congratulations. Argos with a nice 48-3 win on homecoming. You could hear that game on ESPN Pensacola 1330, 99.1 FM. And I thought it was a classic victory and moving them into the top 25. And really, in Division II, when you're in the top 25, it's very, very hard to justify where these teams are ranked. Because even the year that they went to the national title, in the second year as a program, never had a team even made the postseason in 2 years, building a program from scratch. But Coach Shinnick had done that when he was over there before that at UNC Pembroke. He comes in, does that, but they weren't ranked. They weren't ranked throughout any of the season. And they went into those games against Wingate and against teams that, the teams that had beaten them before, the West, I think it was West Georgia and some of those squads. And they would have probably, if the spread was out, been 15 to 20-point underdogs. And not only won, but convincingly smoked a lot of the teams. So it's really hard to justify where to put a Division II power ranking kind of scale because you're not playing week in and week out. They don't usually have like an out-of-conference game against Texas A&M Commerce or Wingate or one of those teams unless the coaches know each other. Whereas you're going to get a Wisconsin, Alabama coming up, an LSU, Texas, where you can justify, and more coverage, too, of these teams. We don't get to go home and watch a bunch of games with, a team that is at the Valdosta State, who's ranked number 1 in the nation right now. But we will get to see them play because they're in the Gulf South Conference. So congratulations to UWF and their top 25 mark for the first time this year at 4-1. Looking at some of the other things going on as we talked a little about Major League Baseball, we are set to go here for a big game tonight as the Tampa Bay Rays will take on the Houston Astros. And actually, right now, officially, I believe that game started a little
20
while
minutes ago, I think.
20 minutes ago. Got to check that right here. That's the only thing sometimes. 1-0 Rays, bottom of the first. There you go. Don't ever touch my controller there. It stays on the Sewing and QVC network at all times. I'm sorry. Did I say? No, I'm just looking at the
Judge Jerry.
Judge Jerry.
We missed our episode.
Judge Jerry Springer right there.
Yeah, that's not what was on the TV.
Rob Mansford warns City of A's to Vegas move.
Wait, what?
Rob Manfred.
Okay.
Manfred. Sorry about that. I don't know why I just said that. No, Rob Manfred. Yeah. Yeah, that's correct. I don't know why I added the S.
Mansfred,
that's like adding the S to Illinois. But that actually does have an S, so that doesn't make sense. Rob Mansford, just doing it again. I just was seeing if you're on par. Rob Manfred warned city officials that the Athletics could relocate to Las Vegas if the city doesn't drop its lawsuit to stop the county from the Coliseum. Look, and you know what? Good for him, though. Because that stadium is actually literally falling apart. There was a story, I think it was a month ago, where a lady fell from part of the bleachers because it wasn't, it was so bad. Now this was in like section Q or somewhere where you don't pay more than a couple dollars, and one of those guys is waving the big elephant flag out there. But Oakland City, the Coliseum has been bad since like the 90s. Coach K, when he coached the Bills, went to there and he was saying, look, it was a dump back then. They couldn't even, during a playoff game, get ready for the playoffs. They barely had enough time to get rid of the football field that the Oakland Raiders play on, and you had like the 10, the 20, the 30, like when the guy's trying to get a ground out. It's got to be confusing for players running the bases in a half turf, half grass, half type stadium when you're playing football or baseball. Both teams, I don't mind. Oakland, I think, has some passionate fans. Look what, now that the Warriors are winning, look what they're doing out there in basketball. But that's also more of San Francisco and Oakland's team because they don't have a team across the border. San Francisco Giants will always be taking the prime from that. I mean, that stadium is always packed out there on the water where nobody is showing up for Oakland. And if they do, it's a crappy stadium anyway. What would you do in this case? Do you think that the commish, who doesn't have the money, he's not the one that owns these teams, but should be able to tell somebody you have to move your team out of your city or else? That's a tough call. I mean, it's so because it's not his money, but he's the commish.
No, exactly. So,
and what if that guy was born and raised in Oakland, and you're telling him you better go to Las Vegas or you better buy money? I mean, better buy money, better buy a stadium with the money you have.
I'm a strong advocate of free will, so I'm not a big fan of someone stepping over that boundary to just kind of tell you how it is that you need to handle your business. So for me, I don't think that should necessarily be a case. But like I said, I'm a big advocate of free will. I enjoy people being able to do whatever it is that they please because it's America.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and Joe, would you say in this case, if you look at the situation, would you go out there and this is more about the mayor, not the owner of the A's, but Alameda County is the ones pretty much not wanting to put their funds into making this happen. Should even a commissioner tell a city what they have to do with their team?
Well, I mean, there's a couple of different ways to look at it. I mean, number one, how badly does the city of Oakland want the A's to be there?
They don't have the Raiders anymore.
Because, I mean, they don't have the Raiders, but, I mean, and Oakland, for as good as, Billy Beane and management has been in putting a competitive product on the field, I mean, they've never had the fan support that, they had in the 80s and 90s, when they were, one of the big shows around there. So, you have to look at it. Number one, how badly does Oakland want the Athletics to be there? Because, for as much as, the Raiders, mean to the city of Oakland, the Raiders have bounced around. They were in Los Angeles for a while and then moved to Oakland, then back to Los Angeles, now back in Oakland. But the Athletics have, they've been there for a while. I think they're a little bit more ingrained into the fabric of the community. But with that being said, Major League Baseball ultimately has to kind of look out for, the brand. They have to look out for, safety is clearly a concern, just given the nature of the ballpark. So, we've seen it before, where, Major League Baseball took ownership over the Expos before they finally, gave it to Jeffrey Loria, and then Loria sold him and to Major League Baseball, and then he bought the Marlins. So, we've seen this before. I would hate, for the A's to move, but at the same time, baseball will go on. Another city I think would be happy to have them. If we're just moving the Raiders to Las Vegas and the A's follow suit, I'm guessing baseball would probably no better or worse off with those two teams in Vegas than they would be in Oakland.
I would agree with that. Yeah. When we come back, we're going to take a look here at the big games coming up here in college football this week. A big game in Baton Rouge as Florida will take on LSU. And Tampa Bay, look at this, getting things rolling out here. They're having some fun. And nothing like all these Game 5s just to have more tears when the teams we expected to win. If they don't, hey, look at that. Kershaw, we'll get to more on the Kershaw conversation too. Looks like not going with him, but the Vandy youngster in Walker Buehler. Sort of the conversation maybe they were listening in to me breaking down his last 4 games.
Absolutely.
I'm sure they were not at all, and they do more research with they call Nerd Patrol, and they make the real money, and we just get to talk about it. Coming back for more right here in the Sports Drive.
There's a lot going on right now, and broadcasters are on the ground covering all of it, bringing you the weather, the traffic, and breaking news, all while entertaining you 24 hours a day. Someone needs to tell you what's going on around the world and in our hometowns, and that someone is us. We are free radio. We are always there. We are broadcasters. Visit wearebroadcasters.com or text radio to 52886 to learn more. Furnished by NAB and this station.
Well, you want to see a Broadway show, but New York City just isn't in the cards.
Broadway's coming to you. Get your tickets now for the 2019-2020 Broadway season at the Sanger Theater. See amazing Broadway touring shows like Jersey Boys, Cats, The Color Purple, Beautiful, An American in Paris, and Waitress for a third of the cost you would pay on Broadway. See actual Broadway shows right here in downtown Pensacola. Get all the details at PensacolaSanger.com.
It's Harley-Davidson's birthday, and they're throwing a party. It's Harley-Davidson of Pensacola's birthday this week, and Thursday night, it's a birthday blowout-themed bike night. Come out for the celebration with live music from The Flavors. 3D Eats and Tea will have great food for purchase, and Harley's Angels will be serving up free beer, water, and of course, birthday cake. Be there Thursday for the birthday blowout bike night at Harley-Davidson of Pensacola. Harley-Davidson of Pensacola, let's ride. Here are the ESPN Pensacola 94.5 contest rules. You can win one prize per household per contest in any 30-day period, unless specified by individual contest rules. All prizes on ESPN Pensacola 94.5 are non-transferable, non-redeemable in cash, nor exchangeable for any other prize. ESPN Pensacola 94.5 prizes must be redeemed within a 30-day period of winning, and you must be 18 years of age or older to win. For a complete list of rules, visit ESPNpensacola.com.
There's a lot going on right now, and broadcasters are on the ground covering all of it, bringing you the weather, the traffic, and breaking news, all while entertaining you 24 hours a day. Someone needs to tell you what's going on around the world and in our hometowns, and that someone is us. We are free radio. We are always there.
We are broadcasters, your home for Pensacola sports, ESPN Pensacola 94.5.
Locally owned ADX Communications, the home of Cat Country 98.7,
News Radio 92.3, 1620 AM, and ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM currently has programming job openings. Specifically, ESPN Pensacola is looking for part-time hosts, board operators, and we have positions open for promotions and production. Find our job application at ESPNpensacola.com. ADX Communications is an equal opportunity employer.
You're listening to Pensacola's local and ESPN sports station, your favorite ESPN radio shows, plus high school and UWF Argo football. ESPN Pensacola 1330.
And I'm shining bright cause I'm really grinding. They ask me if I'm real. I say, you should see. My daughter gonna love this one.
Welcome back here. See, I
think Chad's over it
listen,
today.
No. There's two things I'm worried about here. I actually like this song, but the difference is FCC laws to make sure that nothing is said. These have been dubbed.
These have been
sure. Okay, that's why I just want to make sure.
And then you said we were talking about the big game in Baton Rouge, and he's from Baton Rouge, went to McKinley High School.
There we go.
So
see, that's a prediction.
That's Kevin Gates, right?
It
okay,
is Kevin Gates.
I was going to say, but I wanted
really nice guy.
Yeah, Brittany, look, Louisiana, LSU, they love him there. But it was like, what was the guy Quavo throwing out the first pitch? I think one of the teams had Quavo throwing out the first pitch, and like everybody was like half the people. It was in a city that were like, it was like the Astros or whatever city was from.
I think it's Atlanta.
How about earlier this week, or maybe it was over the weekend when Kansas basketball had Snoop Dogg performing.
Yeah,
and they had to apologize for the what did they call it? They were dancers
saying like
on
basically
the pole,
like
but
we were unaware of these unprofessional. He gave us a script of what he was going to do.
I forget
and
what they called him though.
That sounds hilarious. I can see that.
There was actually a video of him dunking. He's like, I still got it, but he's like 6'5".
Yeah.
I mean, I hope so.
Yeah, he probably was sober too.
Quote, I take full responsibility for not understanding what acrobatic dancers are in today's entertainment world and offer my personal apology to anyone who was offended. So acrobatic dancers is what what we're calling them now.
Hilarious right there. Yeah, no, I would did they end up did they pull him or got out of the inning? Because this is ridiculous. They got
him out.
Wow.
They got it out.
Now, first off, there's two parts of this, and we'll focus on the details for Rays fans. You got Justin Verlander, who, if you could start one guy in the pivotal game, Kershaw's fallen off a little. Some of these guys, I think most people would just go with Verlander hands down. The way he's been clutch all season, he only gets better in the big moment. Yeah. He pitched a one-hitter in their last game. He's getting better with age, and he goes home to Kate Upton. He's just a winner. Like Charlie Sheen would say, winning, he's living that life. Well, Verlander has been rocked for 3 runs in the first inning by the Rays, and it should be 4. I mean, it was 2 outs, and on 2 outs, you're running on contact. And the ball went off the wall, and then Josh Reddick slipped. And he's from Georgia. Actually, my uncle runs his foundation in Georgia, and he's a nice guy, really nice guy. Josh Reddick came from good roots. He was a Red Sox. That just got slipped in there for no reason. But Josh Reddick was clutch last year, and he did his. But he's a Southern boy from Georgia, and one of these kind of guys though that is a good fielder usually. He slipped in the back, and he still was able to pick up that ball. And Travis d'Arnaud wasn't even close. I mean, he was just rounding third out there. The catchers are slow, but he's like an in-shape catcher who has a twin brother. I think Chase d'Arnaud. I'm not sure if I think they're twins, but Chase d'Arnaud is like a shortstop, and they grew up together. And he's not like one of those. There's some of those guys that clearly, Brian McCann, you don't expect. He hits one off the wall and he runs to first. Acuna hits the ball off the wall, and he will get disciplined if he's not at second. There's some guys that you get like the appropriate measure.
Yeah, you know what you can do.
You know what I'm saying? Like you're not. You know exactly what you're going to get out of him. Cecil Fielder back in the day, it was either a home run or a single, no matter what. But there is no excuse not to be home on that ball. It should be 4-0 Rays right now, no matter what though. Regardless though, Verlander getting rocked in the first inning.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's why look, everybody that took Astros today to just close it out minus 230. I mean, if you had to win, you wanted to win $10, you'd have to put 23 on them. If you want to win 100, it's like mathletically just moving up a digit here. 230 to win 100. That's what you're going to lose the ratio. If this one going back though, the good news for Astro fans is you've got Garrett Cole, and
that helps.
This is the type of Cole you'd like to see in your stocking. 5-0. With a 1 point, don't give that look over there. Listen. Do not listen.
I was
That one was
sure he was okay.
We're all on the same page. Okay. Watch it in that seat today with the arms crossed. Now that I'm just the vision I'm still seeing over here on the 5-0, 1.07 ERA. You're gonna miss these jokes one day. You're like, no, I will not. 5-0 with an 1.07 ERA through 6 starts this month. It's pretty decent. In his last game, he went out there, 7 2/3 innings, 2 hits, 15 strikeouts. So this is the kind of guy and he's better on the road even. So Garrett Cole. And he has freakish stuff, too. There's some guys like Kershaw is just using his wits right now to get it done, but he's starting to lose it a little. Same with Adam Wainwright. Wainwright pitched to Gem, one hitter, I believe, a couple nights ago for St. Louis. He's getting old, too, and they're at the point where they're not going to gas it up. Kershaw's going to hit 92, 93, and then come back with a breaking ball. Cole's going to hit 100 as a starter and then come back with a nasty slider. He's got amazing stuff, and even though getting to a guy like Justin Verlander early, 3-0 right now, Rays, is huge, that's not something.
Far from over.
This is far from over at all at this point. 850-623-1330 is the number as we weigh in. Let's get to some college football talk as we take a look here at bread and butter of the South and all the games coming up here. LSU and Florida. Cash it or smash it. 13.5 points is way too many points for the spread. I'll start off with Mr. Cajun himself. What do you think, Eric? 13.5 for LSU at home and their domination is too many points.
I don't think that's too many points. I know we'll get to our predictions later, but I think they'll cover that.
Right now, son.
You want it right now? I'm confident in giving you my answer right now.
You said that a little. That scared me for a second. You want it right now?
No,
okay,
so I think LSU is going to win probably 38-20.
Okay.
So, therefore, based off the criteria that you gave me, I'm going to smash it. I think they got that taken care of.
Okay. John,
I have not seen anyone slow down LSU. Now I know that the defense for Florida is pretty good, but this is not Bo Nix in his going into the swamp for the first time.
You don't have a limited quarterback.
Joe Burrow has been there. He's done that. He is on a completely different level, and I'm gonna smash that as well. I think LSU will cover.
I'm going to have to agree. I'm going to – it's one of these kind of things. And I'm not just saying this because my LSU wife is making a crock pot chicken and I'm just – you know what I'm saying? Like I'm saying in this term right now that LSU is the type of team at home.
I wonder how much tickets are
the
for
way
that game.
They
if you need to go, I got somebody.
This 7 o'clock, you want to have this
we'll
parking lot conversation here?
No,
I'm just kidding. But looking at what do you think they have at the concessions, by the way? What do you think? Like soft
They call them Tiger Burgers, actually.
So
since you asked.
So back to LSU in the
not too
game.
Bad.
This big time breakdown here that no matter what they have to play the game.
You want to go with me, Eric?
Right. We could stay at my place, yeah.
Looking at the game itself. I don't think Florida is, they have not played in this situation on the road.
What time do you think we'd have to leave?
Right now. Get out of here right now. They'll leave. Start the ship. Yeah, Joe's like, I'm fine. Don't ask me twice. I would say in this game, LSU wins, and it could be still close in 14 points, the way LSU's offense is clicking right now. I just think Kyle Trask is a good quarterback, and he could be the difference. But if Florida wins, they're going to want to play this chess match. And remember, here's the thing, too. The one thing they have on their side is Dan Mullen in big games. Think about it. His track record, what he did at Mississippi State versus – remember, he was the coach that we watched those final plays when Jalen Hurts – remember, Alabama had to come back down where they were down 14 at one point in Starkville, and they had to come back to even get to win the national title that year or get to the national title that year against Clemson. But every single time you look at Mississippi State in the big game when Dan Mullen was there, they usually had a pretty good showing. And so far, his track record in big games, we just base it on the Auburn game. Because remember, that was the game against Miami was, you still had Felipe Franks. So I'm not judging that. It's a completely different team with Trask. The way that he showed up against Auburn, and it was at home in front of what was a huge fan base at College Game Day, shows that his track record's good. I think Florida's going to show that they're a good enough team to compete, but I still think LSU covers. I think that you see a game of 31-14, and Florida doesn't play bad for a while, but think about it. Auburn was in this game for a while, pretty much down to the wire, and the final score was 24-13. Florida wins by 11. So I see this one hanging around, but then eventually LSU pulls away and wins 31-14, somewhere like that. And it's just a couple too many big plays from Joe Burrow, and he gets the job done. When we come back, we're going to talk a little more college football. Big week of games with Clemson versus Florida State. Tomahawk Talk Show tomorrow, as Joe will host the show. Eric will be in as well. And after that side conversation, I think I'm going to be out. We're coming back for more right here in the Sports Drive.
Welcome to Mo! Okay, hi, what are we doing today?
I need something that screams something fun. Nothing too on the face, nothing too off the face, but also totally hot.
So I have the perfect thing. It's the Mo's food mullet. You're totally business in the front, but tailgate in the back. It's a fat party. People are having fun. Snap. All your friends are going to be like, whoa, awesome setup. Everyone else is going to be all jelly, okay?
Just like a killer mullet, Mo's Catering will turn the back of your ride into a tailgate party that's sure to turn some heads. Just order ahead and pick it up on your way.
Mo's Southwest Grill, now open in Pace on Highway 90 next to Publix grocery store.
Hey, sports fans, we know that we all fumble now and then when we're headed for the end zone, and our vehicles are no exception. Next time your bad ride is a little offsides, take it to AMCO Transmission, your total car care facility. And with no interest financing, even with less than perfect credit, you'll drive away feeling as if you caught the winning touchdown. You always make the right play when you take your vehicle to AMCO Transmission on Davis Highway, just south of Airport Boulevard. Visit them on Facebook or call 800-GO-AMCO. AA-MCO.
Local sports radio doesn't stop on Fridays, which is why we bring you Sports Call with Davis and Justin.
College football, NFL, the MLB playoffs, UWF football, we're talking about the big games and sporting news every Saturday from 11 to 1.
Plus, interviews with the athletes, coaches, and fellow journalists.
Sports Call with Davis and Justin.
11 to 1 every Saturday on Pensacola's home for local sports, ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
As a resident, as well as the CEO of the YMCA, serving thousands of people, I know how important quality of life is for those residents in Santa Rosa County.
The YMCA of Northwest Florida would love to see the programs and services that this county so desperately needs be expanded. This penny tax replaces the current half-cent sales tax.
And all the money stays here in Santa Rosa.
Let's move Santa Rosa forward.
Vote yes for the penny October 8th.
Political ad paid for by Moving Santa Rosa Forward.
This is Tort Talk with personal injury lawyer Terrence A. Gross.
Florida's no-fault law was passed in 1971. However, several changes took place in 2013 which negatively impacted accident victims. First, if you do not treat within 14 days, you lose your PIP benefits. Second, massage therapy and acupuncture are no longer covered benefits. Finally, if you pay for 10,000 benefits and are not EMC certified, you may only have 2,500 in coverage.
Visit grossandschuster.com.
ESPN Pensacola is your home for UWF Argos football. Catch every game, home or away, on Pensacola's home for local sports. The next game is October 19th when UWF travels to Carrollton, Georgia to take on West Georgia. Pregame starts at 12:30, kickoff at 1. Hear all the play-by-play action right here on your home for Argos football, ESPN Pensacola 1330, FM 99.1. UWF football is presented in part by Summer Vista Assisted Living. This is Davis Allen, co-host of Sports Call with Davis and Justin. Catch Justin, Patrick, and me every Saturday from 11 to 1. College football is finally back, so join us this Saturday from 11 to 1 on ESPN Pensacola 1330, FM 99.1.
ESPN Pensacola 1330 FM 99.1 is all about high school football. Catch the biggest local games every Friday night on Pensacola's home for local sports and our sister station, News Radio 92.3 AM 1620.
You're listening to Pensacola's local and ESPN sports station. Your favorite ESPN radio shows, plus high school and UWF Argo football. ESPN Pensacola 1330.
Scooch, Strop Top, Wizard.
Welcome back, Sports Drive with you right here on ESPN Pensacola 1330.
So
that's fine. It's time for your Sun Farm Energies.
Chad's over it today.
That's okay. I've been, look, this has been the longest little week of my entire life, 16 movie trial. I joked today with you guys, but I would pay probably like the rest of my life, like student loans as like a doctor or something, where it's like, do you owe more than $50,000? If you're a doctor or lawyer, yes. Like that's one of those where I would probably pay $100,000 for a moving company again if I had to pay off like $1,000 a month the rest of my life or something. I would do that. I would make sure to do that after dealing with that. But it's okay. It's done, and I'm excited, and it's happy. But my back is not. But I'll tell you, when you look right now at some of the things happening right now, what a great inning for the Tampa Bay Rays, and that is your Sun Farm Energy's power play moment. Right out of the gate, the Tampa Bay Rays opening up a can in a do-or-die situation. It's sitting there as a 2-1 series. Houston has them at the ropes at home, and you're against the best pitcher in baseball. You're going up against Verlander. And you go out there and you put up a 3-spot, a trifecta, right out of the gate on him in the first inning. Not playing games. The Trop is rocking. Having some fun with those actual Rays in the back. They have actual Rays.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen the tank they have in the back?
I was there in April.
Telling you, yeah. And that is your power play moment, brought to you by Sun Farm Energies. Your power play is brought to you by the good friends, your solar power people. Check them out right there. Go to sunfarmenergies.net and sign up. A better, efficient way to save energy and money for your house. Looking at some of the things, though, one of the things, though, about the Rays that was not a power play moment, actually more of a depressing moment, was did you see when their mascot, Raymond is their mascot, but he had the sign that said a must-do, playoffs, World Series, and then Steve Irwin. And there were 2 of them were checked off, and it was Steve Irwin and playoffs, and the World Series was still open right there.
No,
I mean, this is somebody like went through. I don't think, and we don't know who's under the suit, or we don't, but somebody had thought like that's something you and we would talk about off the air and be like, this is great. But you're in a group of multiple people with probably people that watched him jump on the back of crocodiles, and the guy. But for the folks that don't know, it's a short but sweet, not really sweet. He lost his life when a ray just jabbed right through his body. A huge ray in the middle of the ocean. That's how he went out. Which you would believe after he jumped on the back of snakes and alligators, that was probably how he would go out. But him and Austin Stevens, the Snake Master, that's a cool show. I'll get to that another day. But this is a moment where crossing the line entirely, or is it just play fun games?
Well,
playoffs, World Series, Steve Irwin to-do list on there for the
that's over the line, I think. I mean, and the thing that's so sad about this,
I would say it was over.
Yeah, the thing that's so disappointing
is
like
that's over the line.
Right.
Yeah,
Chad is our moral compass on this show.
Yeah.
So no, but I mean, and what's sad is it's not like I don't think one guy just went rogue here and just came up with a sign. I mean, there's probably multiple people within the Rays organization that saw this and said, that's not a bad idea. Let's do that. And it happens too many times in sports.
They've actually gone back and forth. Remember the Marlins and them going back and forth?
Yeah.
Well,
there was on Twitter. It's like you literally killed Steve Irwin, right?
yeah. That's what they.
It's like. Now that was one guy. I think he was just had a quick trigger finger on the thumbs.
Yeah.
On his iPhone there.
That's sort of the new trend in life is it used to be think before you speak, but everybody today, I saw a family, I was out there eating a couple days ago, all 4 of them were on their phone, and like one of them laughed, like, Mom, I just sent you a meme. I was like, son, reach over the table and show her, even if you're on your, you just look, unless she's blind,
that is so
which I didn't
true.
see like a tapping or walking around, you just stare at her and show her, but she was like, I'm going to send you the sweet mom, and just look at, but that's how life is today. And so think before you tweet, because you never can take it back. Josh Allen wrote something about one of the songs that Eric's playing today, and a rap, on one of those classics, and then never could take it back right there. If you actually quoted the difference between DMX songs and just put them as quotes and just put them on Twitter, you'd be in jail within a week. You know what I'm saying? if nobody knew, you were just like a buttoned up lawyer with DMX or Offspring songs. That'd be guys.
In trouble.
Tampa Bay Rays 3-0 lead. Do they hold on?
Yes.
I was amazingly in sync right now. Go have fun at the Saints game. All right. I'm going to say yes as well. For all of us here, we're jamming and rocking. Thanks for tuning into the Sports Drive. For Eric Verdreen, for Joe Ford, I'm Chad Brillante. God bless.
Football season has arrived, and ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM 99.1 FM is where the action is. Bringing your high school football every Friday night, UWF football on Saturdays, and the NFL on Sundays. If you would like to partner with ESPN Pensacola as a sponsor or promotional partner, give us a call at 262-6000.
ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM 99.1 FM WEBY Milton, Pensacola.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Steve Lennox. Astros and Rays in St. Petersburg, Florida tonight for Game 4 of their American League Division Series. Rays got to Justin Verlander working on short rest early on.
2-2. Tommy Pham drives one to left center field. This one is hit well, and it is gone! Just over the wall, just to the right of 378. Tommy Pham has put the Rays ahead 1-0.
Dave Fleming, Jim Bowden have the call tonight from Tropicana Field on other ESPN radio affiliates. The Rays weren't done in the first inning. RBI single by Travis d'Arnaud, RBI double by Joey Wendell. Rays now batting in the home second against Verlander and up 3-0. Tampa Bay in need of a win tonight to force a Game 5, which would take place Thursday in Houston. Yankees closed out their division series with a sweep Monday night against the Twins. Yankees closer Aroldis Chapman telling ESPN's Marley Rivera his left hand is fine after he was hit with a champagne bottle during Monday night's clubhouse celebration. Game 4 WNBA Finals about to get underway on ESPN2. Washington Mystics can clinch their first title in franchise history with a win on the road tonight against the Connecticut Sun. Elena Deladon is going to play for Washington tonight as she continues to deal with a herniated disc in her back. Jets 0-4 to open the season. Home Sunday against the Dallas Cowboys, who have dropped 2 in a row. Sam Darnold will return at quarterback after missing the previous 3 games with mononucleosis. Auburn running back Jatarvius Whitlow expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks, according to head coach Gus Malzahn. Team's leading rusher had knee surgery earlier today.
Hey, Stugats, coming up on the show Wednesday, Israel Gutierrez and Greg Cody in studio. That's Wednesday on the Dan Le Batard Show with me, Stugats, on ESPN Radio.
You're listening to the best of Golic and Wingo on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Well, I think we have a good idea of who San Francisco is after their thumping of Cleveland. And I think that 5 games in, we have no idea who the Cleveland Browns are in 2019.
The Cleveland Browns are a football team that makes a lot of mistakes in areas that you cannot make them, namely on third down and in the red zone. And when you make mistakes in those areas and critical ones like they did last night, quite frankly, you're lucky it wasn't worse, because early in that game, I think the 49ers had 0 points off 2 turnovers to start this game. Clearly, you play with that fire long enough, and you got burned badly to the tune of a lot of 28-3 jokes for Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And a side note, and we'll get into this later. If you're wondering, hey, man, how come the Falcons' offense isn't clicking anymore? Because that guy, Kyle Shanahan, is dialing up plays in San Francisco. And some of the stuff that he did in creative ways of using that running game, especially early in that contest, I mean, it was remarkable.
That boy good.
What was interesting for the Browns, it started out on the first play of their game was an Odell Beckham pass to Jarvis, I believe to Jarvis Landry, and you thought, oh, trickery right out of the gate. They
had running yards, he had passing yards,
everything. And then
just not receiving yards.
Only 2 receptions on the other side.